How are we doing today, Den? What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to the Den. Glad that you could join us today. Yes. Had a point to prove. Yes. Baker, man, what's the motherfucking deal? So, I hope everybody's doing well today. I hope everybody is having an excellent Monday. Mine is off to a slow start because some things that I wanted to finish, I didn't get a chance to finish to do some updates, so I guess we may not have the updated Den until tonight, because I spent a little bit more time last night than I planned to, and I ain't gonna lie, I kind of got had to take care of some other things earlier, just pushed my schedule back. But hey, I was on time, and thank you to those who had faith and who believed that I would have the ability to be on time. Thank you to those who, had the faith in me to say, your clock, you gotta fix your clock. That's terrible that your clock messed up. You gotta get that fixed. Need some new batteries. But welcome to the Den. If you're not familiar with the Den, the Den is the best conversation on the internet. The reason why it's the best conversation on the internet is because you guys make it the best conversation on the internet. We'll talk about a topic today that I think has a significant amount, or there's plenty of angles in which you can look at it. And it can be good, it can be bad. It really depends on how you're looking at this conversation. So I'm gonna get the proper protocols in the cycle, and then I'm gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about this because I think this is something that needs to be discussed for the youth who listen to understand what's going on, and for those who are dealing with maybe some younger aged people. I guess we'll use it like that. But first and foremost, we'll see what we have joining us here in just a second while the proper protocol goes. So you can follow my personal social medias at Honcho HTX on Instagram and Twitter. Man, like the video, subscribe, and share. Sharing is the most important thing that you can do. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all Den Show Live. You want to send an email, denshowlive@gmail. If you got something you want to share. This is the 1 p.m. weekdays, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m., 7 days a week at 10 p.m. Central time. It's essential that it's central. Den Show Podcast, Saturdays, we go live, audio only on the podcast, but make sure you go to Den Show Podcast, sign up, get an account so that you can participate in the live chat. You want to get you some Den Show merch, go to denshowshop.com and, copy a shirt, copy a mug, be a Den Show thug. You can call the Den Show line at any time, man, 833-284-3336. If you got something you want to share, if you want a text message, screenshot some news, share a link, something funny, a meme, whatever you have that you would like to, share with the Den folk or anything like that. And remember, if you do send something relevant to the conversation while we are live, I will share it. If it's relevant, I'll share it, and then we'll get you some bonus pistachios. If you want to support the channel, want to make a one-time donation, go to streamlabs.com/DenShowLive. We have used that to replace the super chats for now. And if you want to pledge on a monthly basis, go to patreon.com/DenShowLive. And Patreon supporters, I owe y'all, got a bunch of content that I got to drop for y'all. And I think I know exactly what I got to do. It's just, like I said, I've been working on some other things, so I hadn't got to the recorded content like I wanted. This has been a dry month for recorded content, so I'm going to get back to it. I don't want to fall back into my old Christian ways, but I'm going to drop a lot of something for y'all. It's just weird how I'm going to have to do it. We'll figure it out. I'm going to start recording on Pornhub. We'll figure it out. But again, let's see who we got joining us today. Let's see, Miss Rashida, No Pistachios Reed, Kenneth Cologne, what's the motherfucking deal? Should I just time Kenneth now, like right now, just to avoid all the nonsense? Only one lie, what's the motherfucking deal? Baker Man, what's the motherfucking deal? Sweetberry, why would you upset for Sweetberry? What's the problem? Lorenzo Wilson, what's the motherfucking deal? 335, what's the motherfucking deal? Miss Bell, the only one who believed in me was the Bell, Saved by the Bell, Southern Style. Rigo, what's the motherfucking deal? Miss Meat, what's the motherfucking deal? See, look, you Miss Meat, Miss Meat turned against you. Right, see, look at it. Miss Meat, Angela, Miss Grace. I always love seeing Miss Grace. Bad and Bougie, what's the motherfucking deal? Always good to see you. Infinite Misconception, what's the motherfucking deal? Glad you can, that you could join us. Feminine Pimpinin, whatever your name may be. Kanisha, what's the motherfucking deal? Rashida Reed, you don't get 2 shout outs. Cartier, what's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. All right, cool. So, let's get into the conversation. No, you barely get one shout out. You don't need to. Let's see. Only one lie. What's the motherfucking deal? Yeah, and if you remember, we are taking votes. This week's award will be for the favorite mod. If you want to post it in the chat, and you got to make sure that I see it so I can confirm it. I will write down who has voted. And so Sunday we'll announce that. We'll take votes all the way up until Saturday. Sunday we'll announce that. And then we'll have a new nomination or a new, award for the next week. But let's get into the conversation, man. Let's talk about it. Nobody's voting for female pimp. Female pimp wouldn't even vote for female pimp, honestly. I don't know if I said Kenesha, but Kenesha for the good cause. You already got yours, Miss Me. You think you're trying to double vote just like a damn Democrat. Let's talk about it, man. Grooming the children, man. And what you mean? You probably like, well, what do you mean society's grooming the kids, Sancho? Well, first let me make sure I pay like I weigh. For the only one who believed in me, the one who bet with me and not against me. Yeah, like I'm gonna kill you when I give you that open hand reception. But like I said, talking about grooming the kids, man, and what I mean by that is, it's 29. Okay. That society has ways of influencing children, ways of pushing influences into your home or around and about the kids in ways that it didn't when a lot of us were younger, when a lot of us were youth, and when a lot of us didn't have, some of these. I already got your vote. I don't want your vote again. Didn't have these access to certain things. You got television. That was the one main thing. And when it was just television, it was easy to control, right? Hey, cut the fucking TV off. When it was just the internet and you didn't have Wi-Fi, you didn't have access to everything. It was just, you had that big block ass fucking supercomputer. Hey, get off the fucking computer, unplug the phone line, right? It was just that simple. But now, you always had school influences. You may have had the neighborhood if you were working parents and you weren't there all the time. But now you have so many influences. You have so many people who are grooming kids for various reasons. And that's why you even have this term called influencers. And now they have this term called micro-influencers. I don't even know what that means. Influencers, whether you influence on a big scale or a small scale, people are influenced by others. I said something the other day when we were talking about the influence of people, and I was talking about the 4-minute mile, right? Remember, everybody thought it was impossible until the one person did it. And once that one person did it, everybody ran with it, right? Now everybody can do the 4-minute mile because people didn't believe it was possible, but once somebody made it possible, it became acceptable. It's the same thing with influence. It's the same thing with behavior. It's the same thing with a lot of things going on. Right now, we live in a culture that embraces everything and everybody, and I don't necessarily believe that's for the best. Masculinity is looked down upon, but who's the first people you call to come solve a problem? You're hoping it's going to be somebody masculine. To be honest, I want an honest answer from everybody in here. I guess I could do a regular poll. I don't know how this poll works. Let's see. We'll just do a quick poll, right? And if you had a tragedy happen, right? It's not being sexist, it's just being honest. I want an honest opinion. If you had a tragedy happen, if it was uh, some type of problem, say domestic abuse, or your house was on fire, or there's a brawl at the mall, or whatever it is, you're calling some type of emergency services. Would you feel different if an all-female crew showed up to solve the problem versus an all-male crew showed up to solve the problem? And I'm thinking like Ghostbusters, right? What if you had a ghost problem? What if it's an all-female crew of Ghostbusters? Would that feel different? But no, I'm serious. I'm serious. Like, I want to know if you would feel different. You know what I mean? If you would feel different, because I just listed like a list of problems. You see, female pimp. I'm gonna make sure you don't ever get no pistachios. Would it make you feel different? So, say if there was a fire and people needed rescuing out the building, and you need to grab people out the window because they couldn't jump, and so you're sending a bunch of women up the ladder to rescue people. So you wouldn't feel any different if it was a crew of women up there to go and carry people down versus a crew of men. You wouldn't feel any different about that, honestly. I mean, if you don't, you don't. I can't tell you if you do or don't. But we do know that there are biological differences and things like that. But what I'm saying, though, is now, the thing about this is that we're saying everybody can do everything. Everybody's the same. We're encouraging a lot of these alternative sexual orientations, and just so many different things that, previously might not have been acceptable. And I'm not saying that we should be bashing these people, we should be hating these people, we should be doing any of these things. But I think that you as a parent, and then there's our parents that are doing shitty jobs too, should be allowed to be the one that influences, be the one that determines who or what your children learn. Okay, now again, you can't control everything. Sometimes, like I say, it's for the good. Sometimes kids may learn something, bring something home to educate the parents. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this, right? For the most part, I think parents should have influence over their kids. Or actually, I want to know this. Do you guys think that grooming, because parents can groom too. And I kind of want to say shout out to napping motherfucking Nicole, because she said this kind of based off a topic she sent in about grooming kids for sports. But I started thinking about grooming overall, because I was looking at the what was it, the story time, the library story time, drag queen story time. And one of the guys who started that basically said that we're doing this to groom the children for the future, right? So what are you grooming them for? You know what I mean? Yes. But to groom them for the future. And so it's like, what do you need to groom them for? Why isn't that, up to the parents? Why are we trying to have these outside influences have, say so over who is teaching what? When we talk about, again, like the alternative, the binary, non-binary, all this stuff that is getting pushed, this is acceptable. In California, they're pushing, what is the term? Is it pedantry? So it's not like being a pedophile, but it's pedantry. It's basically pedophile behavior. And this is the stuff that they're encouraging. This is the stuff that they're pushing and promoting forward as acceptable. And so if you're in the home or you're working and you're too busy to ever really see, and I'm not saying you should never be too busy to know what your kids have going on, but if you got a lot going on, and maybe it's a day or two and you miss something, your kids are getting this information and they're sharing it with their friends, they're likely to be influenced by their friends also. Sometimes the thought can get buried deep in their head before you have access to them. Yeah, there's a video, it was a PTA group, and they recorded it, and there's a woman, and they're pushing, with their sex ed. Basically, I don't remember if it was the Greek, Roman, however they defined it, but it's basically the acceptable behavior of pedophiles, like basically, the grooming of when older men would take on young boys. Pause. And it's like that now, and I hate to be, I'm not trying to say it's all, but you've seen a lot of gay people say that there was someone older who was into the same sex thing that had an influence or may have encouraged their behavior at a young age. You know what I'm saying? And so that's a problem. I've known lesbians that said it. Yeah, older lesbian women have encouraged their, them being lesbian behavior. And that's why I say I question sometimes. I think, I wonder if it's a mental thing, if it's a, really a natural thing. There may be various cases where things are different. There's different elements. Maybe it's something that happened real young. I don't know. But I've heard people say that. And then, who was it? Milo Yiannopoulos, he talked about it. It's an acceptable behavior that it happens. It's promoted in the gay community. Man, I heard about something about it, but I hadn't looked into it, man. And so my thing is just like, come on, man. Like, why are we encouraging? This is not an anti-gay or anti-LGBT video, but I'm just saying that these are influences that are being pushed from outside the home, and then we're making these things acceptable. We're making these things seem like, oh, this is the natural way. This is how it happens. No, again, if that was the way it happened, none of us would be here. It'd have been like 2 people, and they would have been dead, and well, we wouldn't have the earth that we know today. There would have been no procreation. It takes 2 to tango, if you will, but not 2 of the same. So my thing is, again, we have this culture that pushes these ideologies. Again, like I say now, especially within the media, the internet. You have big tech companies pushing certain types of people to the forefront who push a certain agenda, who push a certain message. And I think a lot of this is detrimental to society. So as parents, what do? Right? Well, you have to take control. You have to get hands-on with your youth. But then again, you have to worry about the parents that are grooming. You have a lot of, again, like I say, a lot of influences. But you have to know what it is you want. You have to be, you can call it a control freak. You can call it whatever you want to. But I think it would be better for a parent to be a control freak, have hands-on information, hands-on knowledge as to what their kids are doing, where they're going, how they're operating, and be able to combat the negative influence as opposed to just letting their kids run willy-nilly. You have an argument, or you have some people were talking about, well, do you influence your child? Do you encourage them to do this or do that? Or do you just let your kid be an entity, a being unto itself, and just let it figure out what it wants to be? Because if that's the case, you have these people who, the kid wears the mom's high heels one time. Well, he's a trans now. You know what I'm saying? Now he's this and he's that. And then you start forcing that on him because you just assume that a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old knows exactly what's going on. That's what people think is okay. I'm against that. The kid does not know the complexities of the world. I'm grown. I don't know all the complexities of this world. So to sit here and think that a child, 4 or 5 years old, knows what they want for the rest of their life, their future, it's stupid. You'd have to be an idiot to believe that. They only know what they want for the next 5 fucking minutes. So it's very unfortunate, honestly. But a lot of these people are parents, and what do? You can't take the kids away. You can't say, well, what you're doing is right or wrong. And you've had so many of these people who have been this way, raising these children. Now these people think it's natural, normal, not realizing how many people have mental disorders in this country. I think that people don't understand mental health is a real problem. That's a whole other conversation. But what do? Because you have bad parents that are grooming kids to be what they shouldn't be, and then these kids grow up to have mental issues. Then you have people say, well, if you're doing too much of this, you're a helicopter parent. I think there's nothing wrong with helicopter parents. What's his name? What's the guy? A lot of people don't like him, but I think he's an exceptional guy. Bald head bright guy. Fucking ball. God damn, what is his name? LeVar Ball. Yeah, LeVar. Would you rather, should there be more men in their children's lives like LeVar? Or should we just be happy about the abandoned parent? Because people like to hate on LeVar Ball, but somehow they're praising Kevin Durant's mom for being the MVP. you know. And this is not to knock whatever it is, whatever's going on. But what I'm saying is, it's crazy when people, when a man is in their kid's life and they're a dominant masculine figure, you know, not taking no shit from anybody else, not letting anybody else tell them how they should raise their kids or what they should be doing with their children. People get mad. Society's like, well, no, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. Yeah, except for the little middle child, but the middle child, you know, it's always the middle kid be fucked up. That nigga, he out of there. But that's the problem. So that's why I say society is grooming us to be a certain way. They're encouraging the single mom mentality. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. People start to go, what's wrong with a single mom? Nothing wrong with it, but it's not the way you didn't make the kid by yourself. So why should it be encouraged that women should? Yeah, you're stronger by yourself. That doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Kyrie's pops because Kyrie was not from the hood, but I heard Pop used to take him to the hood, and make him really play against some hoopers and get his game right. And that's why he is what he is. But Kyrie he's a different breed. So all I'm saying is this, right? Society will try to tell you what you're supposed to do. You have to be a strong figure in your own child's life. You have to be willing to risk it all. But then there are extremes. You have to know there has to be a balance, and the balance can be very delicate. Because where do you know that you're going too far? And then where do you know that, when do you realize that I'm not going far enough, right? And so in the middle, you're in the middle. Shit, our middle kids be the weird ones. Napping motherfucking Nicole, and I gave her a shout out. I said, you look, I'm on time. You talking about my time be all off and shit. Look, I was on time. I was on the needle today. So my thing is this, man. Grooming the children. It's better for you as a parent to groom your child than to let society do it. But then again, like I said, you see these stories of these parents who lock their kids up, don't feed them, do all this other weird shit. Sometimes it can be a negative. So like today, when we start taking calls, I want to know your thoughts on grooming children. Should you be more hands-on and have more influence? Should we be accepting? Should we let our children be groomed by society, since that's the world they have to live in? That's going to be the generation they're going to have to grow up in. Should we stick to old ways that we learned? Should we be passing those things down? And when do you go too far as a parent? You know, trying to withhold them from certain things, but to influence them in certain areas. I think that's kind of the angle that I think we're going to approach it today. And I see ain't none of y'all want to talk about when I was asking if you would want a group of men firefighters versus women firefighters. I don't want no damn woman firefighter. If I'm stuck in the building and I'm passed out from smoke inhalation or some shit, I am still rather heavy for your average woman. She's not gonna care unless she Samoan. She's not gonna get me out of that building. So we both gonna fall down the fucking ladder, and I'm gonna die, and she gonna land on me and probably break her arm, and we gonna be out of there. So am I sexist for saying that? I don't think so. I just think that it really wouldn't make any sense in my situation. Some of you may be smaller ladies. Maybe that makes more sense for y'all. Maybe it works for y'all. Oh, there you go with the shenanigan. Okay, there we go. So maybe that works for y'all. Maybe that makes more sense for you guys. But I'm glad you could all join this afternoon. I'm glad that you're all well. So a couple of things, like I said, as I've been tweaking some stuff. I just, like I said, with me getting off late last night, still having some things to do. I didn't get to finish a couple of little tweaks that I wanted to for the new look then. So we'll stick with the old look until hopefully tonight. And I think we're going to start going with some themes. We're going to start going with some themes throughout the week. And so everybody gets a little bit of love. Sort of, kind of, not really. Maybe I notes. I was like, damn, I forgot about that. So we're gonna have some theme days. I don't know if we're gonna do them in the early days. Maybe at the evening dens we're gonna have theme days, because since they go 7 days a week, we do those every day. So every day we'll have a theme. And the early dens, they'll be about various topics. But with the shit. With the late ends, I have a couple of things. I like the first half of the week. Then I gotta figure out the rest of the shit. But it's gonna start out. We're gonna have Man Mondays, and so we will have topics that are related to men that are male positive because y'all are a bunch of male bashers in here. Then we'll have some form of we're either gonna talk about it Tuesday or Twitter Tuesday. I'm trying to decide. I've still got kind of two things going for that. But we talk about everything, so it's probably gonna be Twitter Tuesday. Women Wednesdays, and so that'll be the woman bashing free day. Once a week, I guess I can tolerate that. Yeah, but Twitter Tuesdays will be, nonsense that is discovered on Twitter. I wish we could do it today, but I may save it for tomorrow. There's something I saw, and that's why I want to talk about grooming. We're talking about single moms, and I'm going to say something here in just a second. Because it's not about bashing single moms, and I'm not saying all of y'all do this, but it's a thing. Friday's already, free range Friday, and talking dirty after dark and all that. So I kind of got to figure out what I'm gonna do for Sunday. We've kind of strayed away from the confessions because the confessions kind of start happening more so on Fridays when people do share. And so the other 2 days of the week, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'll figure it out. So my thing is this though. So I saw a story today, and then let me open up the line after this. I saw a story today that said something, and it disgusted me. I'm not sure where 93.3 is in what city, town, place, or whatever, but they received a call, right? They received a call from a young man who was in high school, and he called about his mom, and he had a problem with his mom because I know here in Houston, TSU is Texas Southern. I don't think it was in Houston because I don't think 93.3 is a black station. I don't know. I really don't. I haven't listened to the radio station. So I don't know if they've changed up or anything, recently. But this guy called into a radio station somewhere, 93.3, and I don't know where else it may be. But he called in, man. It made me really sad to even hear this. He called in and said, he asked the radio station, he had a dilemma. He said that he wants to go to college at TSU. I'm not sure, again, like I said, I don't know if it's Tennessee State somewhere or Tennessee somewhere, whatever it is, whatever. I wish Titty Tuesday would be awesome. I would love it. Send all the titties in. Pistachios for everybody. But my thing is this, right? He called in and he said, I have a dilemma. I want to go to college. I'm accepted. I guess he got accepted to TSU, wherever the TSU is, in the fall. But his mom said he's selfish if he leaves and goes to college because he won't be there to help with the kids, to help raise the kids. That's not his fucking job. He didn't have those fucking kids, and this is why I talk about, y'all get upset with the thing, but again, if it don't apply, let it fly. There are a lot of fucking moms like this, and it fucking makes me sick because you hear these stories all the fucking time. Let's acknowledge it. It's a real deal. He didn't have them fucking kids. He didn't ask for all that fucking responsibility, and it's unfortunate because it happens a lot like that. Mom goes out, has kids, especially if it's 2 or 3 different baby dad, and oldest kid ends up raising the rest of the kids, either if she ain't leaving it with grandma or whatever else. And you have this kid taking on that responsibility. And for the choices you make, now this child has to be responsible for that. So instead of him leaving, going and getting a better education so that he can live a better life and have a better quality of life and grow and be something, he needs to stay there and help you raise the kids that you fucking had. He needs to stay there and take on your responsibility. He's selfish. He's the selfish one for wanting to do better than the situation you put him in. It hurts my heart to hear some shit like that. It really makes me upset that even someone can even find. We've talked about parents who, and I think this is a form of grooming. Grooming the kid to be what? A baby daddy. Grooming the kid to be what? Nothing. Is staying at be a know nothing ass nigga. Like, it sickens me that you can even think if a child has an opportunity and you want to withhold them from that opportunity. I talked about there's a lot of parents who don't want their children to be better than them. You know what I'm saying? And I don't understand it. I can't comprehend it. But I want to know your thoughts on that too. Also, we'll throw that in there as a secondary thing, as a topic. So let's open up the line. Let me put the number up here, man. Let's take some calls. But yeah, hearing that made me sick. Like, hearing that made me very, very upset. Syphilis University. Yeah, I agree. She's extremely selfish. You know what I'm saying? I agree that it's not his problem. It's like how do you even think like that? How do you think that, hey, I popped out these kids, these are your siblings, like, it's not your fucking husband, man. That's not the father of your children. Like, how are you gonna stop this man from moving forward with his life because you made poor decisions? All right. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening? Oh, I guess I should have. I had this thing up here and I ain't fixed it. Hold on, let's see. Can you hear me now? I guess, yeah, I didn't have the proper mic adjusted, so my fault. Miss Bell, please call back. I'll steal because Miss Bell is super trio, and she's the only one that believed in me when the other alleged nominees for favorite moderator, etc., doubted me. They didn't want to see me make it. They didn't want to see me. They wanted y'all to have a lower quality show. They didn't want to see y'all win. Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Hello, yes, Ms. Bell.
Hey, hi, Honcho.
How you doing, Ms. Bell? How are you today? What's going on today, Ms. Bell?
Man, you on time, but you got to get that mic shit taken care of.
Yeah, man, I mean, because it automatically goes to a different mic. I don't know why. Like, I've set the settings and everything to use the one I'm on, but every time I restart the program, it automatically defaults to the mic I don't even have hooked up anymore, so I don't even know why that does that, but it is what it is, so I forget every time.
It's all good. The influence category or topic is pretty damn wide, and you're right. A child should never have to replace a parent because they're not doing their job. I was just listening to the last bit before I called in. Now, I never understood that. When I grew up and when my husband and I were together, the conversation happened early in it is that when you raise your children, you're the base role model for whatever they're going to see out there. So if it's dysfunctional at home, they're going to think life is dysfunctional. And I'm not saying that shit's always all right all the time, because it's not. But I see so many parents checking out, and, we come back to you talking about how these kids are not as focused or grounded. I mean, we give them electronics. I've seen so many toddlers and young children in restaurants and out in shopping malls playing on their parents' phone because they don't want to deal with the kid and the behavior. And so when they take the phone away because that's what's been holding the behavior, and they have problems with it, they don't know how to deal with it. And that's just one influence of a lot of things that go on in raising kids. And to be perfectly honest, neither one of my kids had a cell phone until they were 16. Due to the fact that I grew up with payphones and my husband grew up with payphones, it's like, so you need to be somewhere where you need to be accountable. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have fun, because God knows we did when we were growing up. But the point is that you have an accountability to somebody else. And that's the thing. These kids are so latchkey that they don't feel like they have to be accountable to anybody or anything, which creates the bigger problem. Now, the other thing is during my time of raising my kids, a lot of parents, CPS, child services, social services, all that, because different parts of the country call it different things when it's basically social workers coming in and dealing with abusive parents. The greatest thing, and I believe one of the worst things and the greatest things that ever happened was talk shows. Because it got the bad things out there, the pedophiles, the incest, the this, the that, and the other thing. But on the same note, it made everybody bad before anybody was good. So they didn't always, I mean, it was like snatch the kids and ask questions later. Because we had a neighbor that happened to. Yes, she was going through a rough spot, and she was a single parent, but she wasn't a bad parent. But social service came in and got all 4 of her kids, and it took her a time to get them back. And the fact is the neighbor stepped in and helped her out and helped her get them back because she was a good parent. It was one of the other neighbors who called in on her. And back then, it was ask no questions, take the kids, and then figure it out later. They still do that today, but there's not as much going on with that today in a positive note. And it gives hashtags against the parents who may not have anything to do with it. Like the kid got pissed off because the PlayStation was taken away, or that their allowance wasn't big enough, or, and so that some of this is parents having some of that stuff being taken out of their hands. Now, my kids have said it to me. I'm going to call, and I said, go ahead, because there was accountability to it. Nobody else is going to love you like I do because I'm your mom. Nobody else is going to, put boundaries on you healthfully because I'm your parent. Go ahead. If you want to be somewhere else, go ahead. The call never got made. But it's making the child accountable for what they're saying and doing as well. And even as young as 9 and 10 when it's a temper tantrum, I had a nephew. I used to walk over him when he would have a temper tantrum, and I said, when you're done with that, come talk to me. Oh, I don't play. I'm like Miss Grace that way. I don't play. Because there's time and place for bullshit, and that's not one of them when you're having a temper tantrum. I am not going to deal or discuss anything with a child. So, but the thing is, as far as your topic goes, is it's pretty wide-based because there's so much going on. Now, you had mentioned something about young people when they were influenced by gay or alternative lifestyle people, that they were accepted by them. Now, I can't say that I know for sure, but it would lead me to the belief that that person was celebrating their own life because they were either gay or alternative or whatever, but they may not have known that they were an influence on that other person, and allowing that younger person to be celebrated, maybe they didn't know that they could be who they were, whether it was stay straight or be gay or whatever. But sometimes role models don't realize they're role models until later on. And I say this with the most kindest heart. It's always been said, when you plant seeds, you never know how they're going to bloom. Whether it's positive and they're the roses and they're the tulips and the vegetables, or they're the weeds that need to be plucked out. Because every society has weeds. Even though somebody once said that weeds are only the flowers that people don't want. And if you take care of the weeds and you enjoy the weeds, you bring them in the house and you put them in the arrangement there with the rest of the roses and everything else. But if you decide to cut them and put them into the dump or whatever, it's like, but who makes that decision? A lot of that comes from the influence that our children get being raised. Who are the role models? It's not always the good ones or the bad ones. Sometimes the bad behavior can trigger a child to not do something because they see a consequence with it. But Anyway, I could go on and on about that. So thank you for my pistachios. I very much appreciate them.
Well, you're the only one who believed in me. When I was down and I had time CPT issues, everybody doubted me. They said Honcho will never be on time. But Miss Bell, she took the bet. She took the wager.
I took the bet because everybody went against you, and it's like, somebody's got to make some money here. Hey, I'm not going to lie about it. It was like, if I get it, I get it. I don't, I don't. But I am glad to see that you're on time because you know what? It shows that respect for the topic of being said. It shows respect for the time that we have available. I mean, I'm glad. Winning is the extra. But, it's all good. It all comes out in the wash one way or the other. Me and Sweetberry, we got this, kind of pistachio competition going, but I'm on top today. Maybe tomorrow I won't be. Maybe the next day I will. So who knows? So it's all good. Got any questions for me?
You had said something, and I took it on. I just actually see my stuff. Let me see. Oh, the talk shows. The talk show point. I thought that was very interesting, and I do agree that because that almost does have, because you'd see these regular looking people on television that would look like your neighbor or whoever else, somebody you just walk past in the street. And I agree that it did have, maybe, I don't know, do you feel like it was overall, was it a more positive influence or a more negative? Because you said it brought the problems to light, but then at the same time it had us kind of judging people differently. What do you think it had? Was the impact more positive or negative?
Well, the thing is here's the thing. It depends on what age group you're at. Because when you're a teenager, anything that looks like Jerry Springer is exciting and, off the wall and weird and things like that. But you go back to the time of prior to Oprah was Phil Donahue. And, you had other people. Phil Donahue and Oprah were the primary gatekeepers of the secrets. And they were the ones that opened the doors to the public. And for those that didn't have those kind of influences or did not live in those kind of situations, brought it to light, as they say. I think that it was a good thing, but I also think that it changed society's views on a lot of things. For a lot of good reasons, as well as some not so good reasons. I think that the topic should have been more nighttime and when children weren't influenced. Now, the other thing, too, is that teenagers, and I've said this before, and I will say it again, are pretty much malleable, not just clay, but they're almost like silly putty because they absorb. When you put silly putty on a newspaper and you bring it up, they mirror that image. Well, it's the same thing teenagers do because they're looking to find what works for them. As a teenager, you learned all these firsts. It was the season of first. It was the first car, the first girlfriend, the first boyfriend, the first kiss, whatever. So if you're watching television and it's telling you that this is a positive aspect or this is a negative aspect, it's going to influence how you choose to do things or not do things. And so television has always had a lot more influence than it's been given credit for or blamed for. But bottom line is that parents have to be present in their children's lives. Yes, there's a time and a place when they can watch different programs, but watch the TV with the kids so you know what's going on with them. I was a latchkey kid, but it was still like, okay, what are you watching or what are you doing? And there was a phone call home every hour, even though she was working till 5 or whatever. But the point is that she knew exactly what we were doing because she would talk to us every night. She would get in, have her cup of tea, and then it was like, all right, what's going on with your day? While we were making a meal together as a family. Did it work every night like that? Oh, hell no. By the time we were teenagers, we're all scattered to the wind, and yeah, we'll pick something up, and yeah, okay, whatever. But during those primary years until they're off with their licenses and things like that, parents have the opportunity, and not just the responsibility, to make sure that they know how their kids are being, what was the word you used? It was kind of important. Wasn't groomed. That grooming can be a very positive way in saying, okay, big thing at home, manners. Use your fork, use your knife. When you get a lot of finger food, it's like, well, I don't need to do that until I'm out in the restaurant. Well, no, you need to practice this, because when you go out in society, you don't need to show them your ass. And that's part of being present. That's part of my mother, even a week ago, saying, you sure you wanted to say that particular word? And I am 50. Yeah. One of the girls and I were talking about that last night. So it's not just being a parent, it's being present. And I don't think that gets talked about enough. Now, the other thing that I looked at, too, is over the years, between school, summer vacations, holidays, and when kids are home with their parents, legitimately, school is 50% of a kid's life per year, and then being at home or home life is the other. Now, that's including the sleeping and all the other stuff that goes on with that. Because you got to figure during the school year, those teachers have our kids anywhere between 6 and 8 hours a day. Yep, they get vacations off. Yeah, they get this off, and yeah, they get that off. But that's when they're supposed to be with their parents. Now, some can't because they're working, and some can't because they're just not there. But the ones who are there are the influencers, and that's what I'm talking about. Those are the groomers. And it's a lot more of being right there in the now with the kids. And so you need to know, if you're not in the now with the kids, who is. So I kind of went off on a rail with that, but I think it's really important with raising kids. Was I perfect? Oh, hell no. My kids will tell you I wasn't. But do I love my children? Absolutely, unconditionally. But there are days I don't like them, but I do love them. Yeah, I'm telling it like it is. And I'm very blessed with the kids that I have. I've seen a lot of tragedies with kids in my life, and it's just really sad. So that's kind of all I got. But unless you have another question, I'm good to go.
No, ma'am. That's all I got.
All right. I'd love to hear from everybody else today.
Thank you for getting the party started, Miss Bill.
All right. Talk to you later.
Right.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Shout out to Miss Bill. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this afternoon?
Oh goodness, let me get my stuff together. Hey, Honcho, this is Sean.
How are you doing, Miss Sean?
Miss Sean got to run behind you like she's the road runner. Trying to find you. All these different times, and you here, there, everywhere. That consistency is confusing me, but I'm catching up with you. I'm on your tail.
Okay. Like who was that? The coyote. Oh man, I'm mad. Hold on. Why is the thumbnail still showing this old thumbnail? They didn't even change the thumbnail. That's terrible. No wonder. I see why people came in here still talking about Baltimore. I got the wrong thumbnail on the thing. Okay, but go ahead.
I just got. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying how you feeling, Miss Sunshine? What's on your mind?
Okay, so outside of catching up with you, I just got a few, and I ain't got much time because this is not really my time zone here. But Miss Bell, I got to give her a few ding-dings. Ding to Miss Bell on at least a half an issue. I didn't hear everything she said, but I did hear her say about, and I always said that, and I'm saying it to the community so we can understand the impact. I like what she said, and I've actually said this myself, is that when you're dealing with teachers and when you're dealing with caregivers, and if you are a working mom, those people are spending more time with their children than you are. And I want people to really fundamentally just let that sink in. By the time you work your job, and the only other time you may have like a Saturday or Sunday, you are getting less hours with your own children, and you are the mother, than these caregivers and teachers. So one reason why I always kind of made a big stink about that is because I felt a couple of things. One, because of that, you should be held at a very, very high standard. They're dealing with your baby. And number two, they need to be getting paid. and you look at, labor and salary costs, and, we're paying our teachers bottom line, barely making it kind of salaries. And, I just really don't agree with that, because you are protecting, influencing, and growing my child as a modern model citizen. And for us not to have the priority in terms of money, to say that ain't important, I think as a society we've got to rethink that. And I think if we did rethink that, and then with extra accountability on behavior, ethics, decorum, background checks, and all that, we will also eliminate a lot of these news stories, sexual impropriety in schools. Because if you're making $80,000 to $100,000 a year, that's going to curtail some of that stuff. You see what I'm saying? You're going to get professionals in there, professionals, not just anybody that can pass like some sort of mediocre test to get in and to have access with our children. Think about that. That is having access to our children. Anybody that has access to our children should be paid. I don't want some, my children are too important. I want them to be paid. And I think that can curtail some stuff. So I think it's kind of an attribute to how society is grooming our kids. Society, I think, is doing the dysfunction in grooming our kids by not paying teachers and professional, trained mental health people, all of the staff that's necessary, counselors, psychologists, all of that is a part of the unit of the operation of the school. I think society is failing our kids because they are not prioritizing the work that needs to be done for people who are raising our kids while we're trying to feed our families and keep a roof over our head. You see what I mean? And I think we need to balance that, and I really think we need to give more credence to that, make it important, make it special, make it like it's just not some kind of secondary thing, because for me it's not secondary, it's primary. So that is how society is grooming our kids. So my answer is I got a second piece that I don't even really know how I'm going to really go into. But the first piece, society is grooming our kids by not properly paying the people who are grooming our kids. Okay? So we need to look at that, because that dictates the outcome and the end result. The second thing is kind of personal, but like on the topic, it just started bringing some stuff all out up in my spirit. And so I said, well, I'm going to share this story, and I'm only going to share it because it may be the benefit of others. And, I hate to be the one that's not all happy, funny. But I just have to deal with the shenanigans, like you say, the fuckery. But we got to deal with it. We can't run from it. The second way that I think society could be, which it ain't even could, that is, and it may not be a total blame on society, but it could be a blame on parents, and it could be how do I phrase this? It could be the parents are a reflection of the society with their decision making. And here's what I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you a personal story, and it is true. Now, I've already told you a little bit about me and my past. My daughter, my first child, her daughter, her father got executed, right? Yeah. And I was in an 11. I finally got myself together because I told you I didn't want to have a bunch of baby fathers. Got myself together, and I found another man, another happiness. This ain't my husband now. This ain't my true life. This is my in between life. This ain't my life today. I was with this man 11 years, and here's my point. Here's the kicker: how society and sometimes mothers are failing the children because they are failing to deal with sexual abuse against their own children, and that is my kicker. So my kicker is once I got through that, I got with a man that I actually sat with 11 years. And next thing you know, after all those years, my daughter came to me and told me, my daughter is a very, oh wow, she's like my model child. You know, she don't backflip, she don't do this and she don't do that. And I actually put her in a boarding school. That's a whole nother topic because everybody went against me for putting her in boarding school, but I put her in boarding school basically to get her out of the ghetto and the ghetto mentalities because I had her in local school. Everybody wanted to fight her. Every time I turned around, there was some sort of complication at school. I don't really know what it was related to. I know she's good looking, she's mannerable, but it seemed like she got like targeted and stuff. And so it was a flip to that because people thought I was crazy. You know, that's a crazy concept, putting your child in boarding school. And I'm like, look, if this child don't get boarding school, somebody's just gonna get hurt because I'm tired of running up to the school and fights at the bus stop and all that. So that's what I did. So I thought I was protecting her. Next thing you know, very mannerable child. One day on a Saturday, I think it was a Saturday, I know it was a weekend. She said, Mommy, there was, the kids have these projects. It was a book project. She needed to be reading a book over a period of time. She needed a report. So I did everything. I was like the soccer mom. I went to chess club. I did all this stuff. And so we just on a relaxing day, and I'm like, okay, I got my stuff to do, laundry, cooking, or whatever. And we around the house. I said, well, go ahead and get some reading done. Put some time into, your project because, we're busy with sports and stuff. And I'll never forget this. The book that she was assigned to read was called The Bluest Eye. I was in my bedroom. Now, at that time, this ain't her father now. Her father dead. I've been with this man 11 years. And my daughter comes running into my bedroom after I gave her an assignment. I thought everything was peaceful. About 30 minutes later, she's coming to me in crocodile teeth. She says, Mommy, I can't read this book. I just cannot continue reading this book for this assignment that the school has given me. And I'm like, baby, I don't put her name out. Why not? And then that's when she revealed to me that the man that I had been with 11 years was sexually inappropriate towards her. I was crushed. Only thing I could do was just be strong. And I had to just really figure out what's going on. Mind you, dude, he had just left. At the time, it was just so she did it at the same time because he had just left to the store. So he left out the house. So I had to really contain all of my emotion because she was so emotional. And I had to slow her down with what happened and when and da-da-da-da and trying to connect the dots. And she was like, she was older then, but she said it had been happening. It started 2 years before. So she had just revealed to me. I said, well, baby, why you didn't tell me? I mean, she just crushed me. And she says, well, Mommy, I just was worried about my sister, and I just didn't want to hurt the family. She had all that burden on her. And I said, don't you ever feel like you burdening anything because we come as a package. See, mind you, that wasn't his kid. I said, no, we like luggage. And it just hurt me so bad that she wanted to conceal something and feel as if she couldn't tell me, but it was because she burdened it. She felt like she didn't want to upset the home. And to this day, I feel guilty because I felt like I was like a bad mom by not like giving her that pipeline to make her. I mean, who makes you feel like that? Why do you feel like that? I thought it was something that I had done. Anyway, let me fast forward the minute, and then I'm going to go back to society may be failing children. Mothers may be failing children. Let me tell you what I did. That Negro was at the store. I picked up the phone. I had her boohoo crying. I was just trying to compose myself. I called the police. I told the police, if you don't get to my house by the time my man gets from the store, I'm going to kill him. I called her godmother and her godfather. They jumped into the car. He came with his weapons and everything. And I'm like, oh, in retrospect, I'm looking back. I know what I could do. But I was at a critical point that I had never been in my life. And that's how I know how people can go crazy. Next thing you know, I had about 5 police cars. They came quick because they knew I was serious. And from that day, after an 11-year marriage, we wasn't even really married. You would call, and I never married him. That's probably why. That's probably why God told me never to marry this dude. I never married him for some reason. Never married him. Been together all that time. But something was at play there. And it was a reason why I didn't marry him. And it was a reason why after all those times, I had not one back thought. The man was about to be dead up in my house. So I just thank God that they came 5 deep and they pulled him out my house. They pulled him out. Okay? And then I think back, if I would have did what I wanted to do, I probably wouldn't have been here for my son and to meet my new husband and everything. But that was like just such a horrible moment. So and I felt really victimized because, this child just lost her father. I've been with you. You know my background. And then you're going to come and try to put your hands on my daughter?
So did anything happen to him legally? Was there any legal repercussions for him?
Let me tell you. I went through it. It was so many years ago, and this is what I learned. I went and tried to prosecute. I went on the stand. I didn't allow her on the stand. And that was before, and I remember dealing with the detective, that was before something what they call Megan's Law. And I remember they told me, they said, Megan's Law is up in the legislation. If Megan's Law was in place, you would probably have more standing. They said, but for now, in the court of law, it's just her word against his. Because I didn't witness it. She never reported it. So we were kind of stuck in that legal limbo. But since then, they've passed Megan's Law. And what Megan's Law means is that you can look back. See, because she didn't report this for a couple years later. You see how it's hard to get them? So because she post-reported after the fact, memory. But memory is real. That's why the law exists. So that new law, it's that new law that allows women that have recollections of sexual assault and abuse to have a legal standing. But other than that, you can't go nothing on no damn recollection because all they would do is lie and say that you're crazy. And that is not the truth. So that is another way why these men are trying to take advantage of women who they think are weak. Not all of us are weak. And come and take advantage of our children. Let you be warned. Because he would have been, I ain't worried about no damn police brutality. You need to be worried about Sean brutality. Because I'm going to take care of your ass. I'm going to take care of your ass. He ain't even got to worry about the police. You ought to be lucky that I called the police on your motherfucking ass. You hear me?
Yeah.
And then I found out it was prevalent. One of her little girlfriends, you have kids in a little group, and you do this, you go to the picnics, you go to the soccer games, you do the spend the night, and the this, that, and the other. And they all call me mom, even though I ain't their mother. Next thing you know, I had another one of them calling me. She said, Mom, she called me out the blue. I hadn't even seen her. She said, Mom, I'm in child protective service. And she wanted me to come and help her. She had already been placed, wanted to pick her up and help her out with, some finances and stuff. And I was like, well, baby girl, what happened? This is just like one of my little baby girls. You know, you got the little kids running around the house growing up with your kids. And I knew her mother and father, but I didn't know stuff got so raggedy. And then you know what she told me? And this is one of my daughter's good friends. She said, Mom, she said, my father, which was, again, same type of situation as me, which was my stepfather, was inappropriately putting hands on me and molesting me, and CPS took me away. I was like, oh, my God. And she was already gone. I went out and helped her. Me and her have a relationship to this day. But here's what was important. I didn't understand. I said, well, what did your mother say? She said, my mother, here's the flip with two different parents. She said, my mother believed him and put me out the house and told me I was lying. Meanwhile, that baby's up in CPS. So that's another reason or another way why society is feeling our kids, mothers who know your damn daughters is being sexually abused and not sticking up for it. That all impacts the society, because that impacts the society of that child who ends up becoming a woman and ends up trying to develop a relationship and ends up trying to engage with society. That impacts them.
Man, and that's the thing. That's the crazy thing, because I remember I forgot what it was. It was a chick. She was a little bit younger, and she was recording, so people could see what was going on. And she was telling her mom that the dude that she was with was kind of coming into her room late at night and being inappropriate. The mom did not think twice about anything negative about him. It was all about her. Well, you shouldn't be doing this, and you shouldn't do this, and you shouldn't even be around here. And held him to no kind of standard. It was all about the daughter. It was all about everything she was doing wrong. You probably trying to take him anyway. Just all this crazy shit. And so I can only imagine. Now I know that ain't the only one. That ain't the first. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of stories like that, all over the place. And the shit is fucking.
But as a mother,
yeah,
you should protect
exactly
your children at all costs. And sometimes back then, because it's been some years ago, it was your girls. But in modern day, you got to get your girls and your boys. Okay? You got to protect the ass. You got to protect the wood, the cookie, all of it. All of it got to be protected. And I'm only doing this to tell you and to warn you. And to warn women like me that was in that situation. And the dude, once I started, then he going to try to, the police took him out my house. But he lied. He's a fucking liar, man. I believe my daughter. And then he going to try to come up with some stuff. Oh, well, I thought it was you. This is the kind of shit this nigga tried to talk. I thought it was you, and I was drunk and drinking. And when I came up to bed to go to sleep, I thought, he tried to spin it off like this. He told, I thought I was in, like, our bedroom, like the marital bedroom. Like you and your woman bedroom versus your fucking kid's bedroom. You know the fucking difference.
Absolutely.
But this is the kind of psychological shit. Don't go for that. Because I didn't go for it. And I got all paranoid. You know that being my kids, I put these big-ass bells. I put these big-ass bells on all their damn bedrooms. Like, I'm like married now. You know that. But before that, ain't nothing. At the night, it's a big-ass bell. When that door opened, I did that inside the house because I've just tried. I mean, it took me, oh, wow. After that, it took me about 2 years. I didn't want to deal with no men. I definitely didn't want no relationship. And I was so kind of psychologically damaged myself because there's the other end of that. I was hurt too. I'm with this man 11 years. This ain't no Tom, Dick, and Harry Honcho. I'm with this dude like long time. So I had all these bells on my damn kid's door, and I recommend it today. I don't even care. Put some damn bells on your kid's door when you sleeping at night, and you can hear them bells run off, and them bells ain't supposed to be ringing at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. No, you ain't coming to my damn bedroom. And I had just did that as some kind of psychological stuff. So I don't know. I hate to get all like personal and shit and get stuff all gloomy, but I mean it's just the truth. So it's just the truth, and I just want to put it out there. And we are a part of society, right? As parents.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, but that's part of it. I mean, like I say, if you're not grooming them, and grooming can be considered a lack of grooming. If you're not showing them the love and the attention and the protection, that's a form of grooming. And, you know, you're saying that if the parents don't give a fuck about you, why should society give a fuck about you? I think that transfers into the children and shit. If nobody else give a shit about me, why should I give a shit about myself? And that can lead them down the wrong path. So I think that all ties in.
You got it. Thumbs on. 100% correct. Lack of grooming. So that is my point. How society is lacking grooming, and I would add the word protecting our kids. And we can't be silent like that no more. And they're not. Trust me. They're a whole lot mouthy now. But there's all kind of a lot of secret shit going on inside of people's homes. And I just do a call out to all women or even all men. If you being abused, just don't be afraid. The more, I couldn't even live with myself hardly. Your children are going to hate you if you don't protect them. It's your job. You don't sit up there and let somebody else dictate how you protect your child. I don't care what the money is. I don't care if the love. I don't care what the wood. I don't care anything. The sex. You don't let no man or you don't let no woman even equally. If that woman is not that child's parent or man is not that child's parent, and I think that's when we get caught up. Just like even with the McCollar Davis situation. Don't let these stepdads and stepkids come in and run your damn children. You got to keep your eye on that kind of shit. And this shit happened to me after 11 years. So this wasn't even no fly-by-night relationship. This shit is real, man. At the end of the day, it's your responsibility. You birthed them. It's your sperm. Both of y'all birthed it. That's equal birth to me. If you gave me sperm, you got an equal part. It just doesn't matter. You gave me the sperm, I birthed it. I birthed the baby. But we got equal parts here, and we should have equal protection. And just don't let that happen, man. Don't get even caught up in it, man. I just rather die, starve, be broke, or we be eating peanut butter and jelly. I just don't care. Protect your children first. That is your job. Don't blame it on nobody else, or don't take your emotional, because you emotionally sick and needy, that you're gonna detriment the safety and protection of your own child. You got these Negroes out here kidnapping, killing the kids, and molesting the kids and all that, and you just shucking and jiving and smiling because you just want to feel wanted and loved and all that emotional bullshit. Come off that shit.
Straight up. I agree, and you got to put the children ahead of you, and that's the problem. I think we're in a society that becomes more and more selfish by the day. And, you know, everybody sees the glitz and glamour and they feel like they're missing out on something because either they had kids early or they feel like it's the children's fault that, you know, they're not getting to live the life they thought that they would live. It has nothing to do with it. You know, you made those decisions. It's not like the kids it wasn't what is it they call the immaculate conception or something like that. You know, you made the decision to have those kids, but people will put the blame on the children for their own actions. And, you know, and they want their happiness more so than they want the children. And that's an unfortunate state to be in.
Yeah, so that's all I had to say. Love you, Honcho.
Well, Ms. Shaw, I'm glad you
get
called
off
in
this
and shared that with us today. I really am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. You have a good evening. Good afternoon. Shout out to Ms. Shaw. This next call here, I don't even want to take this call because I know what this call is all about. And I don't want to take it. I really don't want to. I think I might just I just might just hang up on this person. I might not even just even say anything. I'm just gonna hang up and just act like the call never happened, and maybe we'll take somebody else. Does anybody else want to call in right now? I mean, just anybody. Where's Roman when we need Roman? Like anybody want to call in? Somebody? Anybody? Anyway, what's the motherfucker? Who we got calling into the den this afternoon?
It's Shannon.
Ah.
Oh my God, man, that story from the Sean.
Okay. So what's up? How do you feel about that?
I can just say that I'm thankful for my mama
Yeah.
because
She's a killer.
because the reason why I'm gonna tell you this. For the longest time, I did not understand why my mama purposely kept us away from my dad's side of the family until I was older. She kept us away from them for a reason. And when I got older and I learned why, I'm thankful for it because I could have been the same thing that happened to Miss Sean daughter could have happened to me too.
So what's wrong with your
Because
mom?
I found out that my uncle Alfonso on my dad's side of the family had been raping and molesting several of my female cousins.
I didn't put the nigga name out there. Okay.
My mama found that out, and she threatened him the first time he came to our house. She had her gun and everything. She told you, if I ever see you around my kids, I'll kill you. Never saw him again after that. He wasn't just molesting my female cousins. He raped one of my male cousins, his stepson,
The fuck?
for years. Yeah, for years.
Where is
And then
Alfonso? We said Alfonso. Where's he now?
he is not my uncle by blood. He is my uncle because he was married to my aunt. But he had raped, molested a few of my female cousins, even was raping and molesting his own stepson. And he went to prison for it. And then he was living with my aunt again because she was scared of him. She was scared of him.
So he went to jail, came back, and he was living with your aunt again.
Because he forced himself into her home because she was scared of him. She was terrified of him.
You don't force nothing. I got some force for your motherfucking ass. Okay.
And then, Lord Jesus, and my Aunt Veronica, who died, I found out after her death a few years ago, in 2014, that with the exceptions of my dad, she had been beaten, raped by her own brothers. With the exceptions of my dad. It's the reason why she was the only closest to my dad, because he was the only one that protected her from her brothers. Her own motherfucking brothers did that.
And so did anything ever happen to the brothers?
No. One of them motherfuckers is a motherfucking preacher.
I believe it.
And I just look at his ass like, you know, drag everybody in this goddamn church to hell with you false prophet.
That's tough, man.
Like, it's so many things that I've learned about this side of the family, and I can't tell my cousins this. I can't, because it'll make them look at their parents. I don't even know how they would react.
Man, shit.
Because I was shocked learning this shit.
They probably know.
And it's true. No, they don't know. Man. Only I know.
How you get all the southern style?
Because my grandma said so.
So why your grandma ain't tell them?
Grandma is dead in an unmarked grave.
Yeah.
My grandma told my mom And me and my mom, we talk about everything and we have conversations. And my mom started talking when I asked her why she kept us away from this side of the family. And she told us. She told me. So now I understand it so much more now.
What's the name of the church that he's a preacher at?
Some church over on Prospect in South Kansas City. I don't know.
I'm going to slide through. I'm going to slide through. What's his name? I'm finna pull up. I'm say,
And
I know your secrets.
like now I understand why my dad's oldest brother, why he cut that whole entire family off too.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, look, yeah, you gotta go expose them.
He took off.
You gotta
The
do
moment he
all
turned 18, he took off never be. And like I said, my mom was a single mother, raising her own 3 kids, taking care of 12 other kids, and helping a drug addicted brother who needed her help too. And no matter how many jobs she was working, she always made time to be there. She was there to get us on the bus to school, get us off the bus to school, make dinner, lunch, breakfast, and had these conversations with us.
So, why is
And
why is your grandma an unmarked grave?
because them motherfuckers, my dad's mom, my grandmother, them motherfuckers didn't buy a tombstone for their mama. So she's buried in some cemetery, grave unmarked. And I told you, my grandmother on that side of the family had been married to so many men throughout her life. And every man she married had abused her in one way or another to the point where she had Stockholm syndrome. And she believed that that was love. If they were raping her, they didn't love her. If they weren't beating her, they didn't love her.
That's tough. Nikki, you ain't lying. Shannon, you need to become a writer. You start writing some stories and shit. This better than anything TP to put out. Is you have some tales. They are I don't know what you would call them. Kansas City tales or some shit. I don't know. Missouri tales, whatever you call them. But that's
And Miss Shawn telling her story made me think about that. Because it's the reason why I don't have no contact with those uncles on that side of the family. And the only people I talk to on the side of the family are my cousins. And I keep them at a far from how they behave.
No, you don't. You be hanging out with them motherfuckers, going up setting people up for the okey doke and shit. You be over there violating with them motherfuckers. You be over there.
Yeah, but look at they mamas. My aunts on that side of the family knew they didn't do shit to protect their little sister. All they cared about was drugs and getting high.
Well, that's a very unfortunate.
And knowing all these things about them, like I said, I can never tell my cousins this. This is something I had to take to the grave with me.
I'm sure they've seen some kind of sign. They may have had some kind of experience. They might not just speak on it, but it can't.
I don't know because I see them interact with their parents, with their fathers, and a few of them still live with their fathers. And if they knew,
they know.
I don't think they do. And she's right. Well, it's my cousins, and I really can't even explain it because my uncles are a reflection of their fathers, of the type of men that their fathers were. Same goes for my dad. Motherfucker abused his wife, took off, and started a whole nother motherfucking family. And then would drop in every once in a while to abuse her again.
That's a difficult situation. That's tough, man.
Yeah, so And my father, I'd say he's a little bit of reflection of his father because he took off. Like I said, took off. Didn't do nothing for me and my little brother. He was here a few times physically, but most of the time he was fucking drunk and stumbling over his feet. That's why I hate beer because he smelled like he was drowning in beer.
So do you drink it all?
No, besides my birthday, I don't really drink like that. Like, besides my birthday this year, the last time I had a drink was 4 years ago. And a couple of years before that.
When's the last time you got some tetrazzini, though?
I had some last week.
You got an addiction. You got a problem.
I made more.
Fucking tetrazzini addiction. That don't make no damn sense.
I like tetrazzini.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's very
So,
that's really a sad situation, man. That's really unfortunate. But then again, like I say, you know, and I sit here and say, you know, talking to them about it. But you can say these things, but people love, especially when they have connections with folks. There's just certain shit they don't want to hear. Especially so, you know, people are this bonded to celebrities that have these accusations and these issues, and some of the stuff can be so blatant, but people refuse to acknowledge it. It can be just as bad, if not worse, with family members. So I understand why you haven't said anything about it, why you haven't mentioned. But I have a feeling they know, or you know, and maybe they don't want anything bad to happen because they have a certain level of love for them. If they haven't had the situation happen to them, because if they have done this stuff to their own sister, which is flexible, what's to stop them from doing it to their own kid? I mean, there's no boundary. You know what I mean?
yeah. Because from what I know, when these things were happening, my dad's eldest brother, he was already long gone when these things were happening. He took off. He was already long gone before it started happening, and ain't had no contact with them since. And I understand why. The only time he came in town was for his sister's funeral, then he was ghosted again.
But that's the thing, and I can understand what Ms. B said about, you know, not saying anything could get us. But again, you can tell people certain stuff, and they just, what is that, not kind.
Honcho, these motherfuckers were drunk at their own sister's funeral and arguing over who gonna get her life insurance money.
Well, that's you. Sandy, maybe you need to like your sister did and just leave the area.
They were fighting with each other at her funeral, and just they didn't give a fuck that she passed away.
Yeah, no, people don't care. People don't give a shit. Like I say,
all they cared about, they fight with each other over who gonna get the fucking life insurance.
That's
and it wasn't even no life insurance because after all the funeral costs, there wasn't anything left.
That's scummy shit. Shannon, you got some story. You got some things going on. You got some things.
So I got a lot of resentment towards my uncles and on that side of the family, and
When's the last time
like
you
I said, what?
When's the last time you interacted with any of those people on that side of the family?
The last time I interacted with them was 3 years ago, when my Uncle Wayne was having a cookout, and he's always trying to talk to me, but I always don't talk to him. He calls me mean because I don't want to have a conversation with him. Like I said, I try to be nice and civil, but knowing what I know, I don't want to talk to your motherfucking ass. I really don't even want to be here.
So, do you think that there should be some level of, if they're no longer participating in these activities, should there be some type of forgiveness? Or do you think what they did is unforgivable?
I don't know, because I ain't there yet. People keep telling me that I have to forgive them, not for me, but because it's what God would want me to do. But I ain't there yet. Because I think about all these things they allowed to happen and nobody did shit. Nobody said anything.
Dan, what about you? Have you ever been felt like you were threatened or put in one of these in a precarious position around any of these family members?
No, because like I said, my mama, we never had any of that happen to us. Like when I'm around these particular family members, I'm on high alert more than anything. Because I don't trust them, not one bit. And I've told my mama that if I ever have children, my children won't know that side of the family. Them people are dead to me.
Um,
And if I gotta cut my dad out completely because I'm trying to forgive him for being a piss poor father that he was, but if I gotta cut him out completely in order to cut them out, I will too.
sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta,
I don't even allow them to my house. My address is unlisted for a reason.
I was just talking, I know where you live, but I got your address right now.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I got it right here on this piece of paper.
No, you just know what city I live in.
Yeah, so I'm telling you, you don't know who I know. I might got folks out there. I might have investigators, and I might know people. You never know what I know.
And then, whew, my little cousin, who my Uncle Alfonso was molesting, he got in trouble, legal trouble, and went to jail himself for molesting.
It gets passed down. He was molesting. Was he also molesting a man, or was he molesting
A little boy, same age as he was when it started. And I really don't talk to him. But at the same time, I feel like I don't even know what to think about that. Because he learned it because he lived years of his life with a molested.
That's the thing. That's the tough part. I mean, it continues. It's a habit that gets. I don't want to say a habit, but it's something that gets passed down. Outside of him being a molester, was he gay?
Huh?
I said outside of him being a molester, did he identify as a gay man?
He went to juvie. Because he was a teenager when he molested this little boy. He went to juvie. And then they put him in foster care, and the people who were his foster parents are a gay couple he was living with.
That's tough, man. That's tough. Nah, I have no further questions. Yes, but Shannon came out here with the T's and the names and everything. She's laying a foundation. Is this something that you've had pent up inside for some time, or do you ever talk about this?
No, actually I don't. Besides me and my mama talking about it, the only people that have talked about it is y'all folks in the den.
Yes, the den is.
I don't even talk about it with my cousin.
That's tough. Yeah, they let Miss Me, what you talking about? Gay couple be adopting and fostering and picking up foreign kids. They got all the same rights as everybody else. They be bioengineering babies and everything. Yeah.
So I pretty much agree with both Miss Bell and Miss Sean said that a lot of parents are a reflection of, I'm not even going to say exactly society, I'm going to say they're more of a reflection of the environment they in. They more of a reflection of the type of parents that they had. And if they had those absentee parents who didn't want to be involved at any point of their life, to give them that love, attention, that nurturing, and that protection, then they going to grow up to be the exact same.
It does. It starts at home. So you feel like the home has more of an influence than the society around them? Is that where it starts?
I think that's part of it. But I think the main problem starts at home. the main focus of these problems starts at home, starts with their parents.
Let's talk. Anything else that you would like to add, Miss Shannon? Anything else that you would like to share with us?
Not really. Oh, you told me to get back to you when somebody give me some poor, unsolicited advice. Well, I think I just heard the worst of it.
Okay, what is that?
When I went to the mall this Friday with a friend. We had a good time. We had fun. It's just me, her, and her baby. She got, I don't know what was going on in this mall, or rather they were having a sale on fraternity shit. But every woman we passed was fucking pregnant, or had like 6 kids with their. And she told me that I should have a baby by some random person so her baby can have a friend to grow up with. What?
Why don't you teach your goddamn baby some social skills when that motherfucker get older enough so you can have some goddamn friends? Fuck that nonsense. This shit is craziness. Stop the shenanigans.
And I said, I started to want to cuss her out for saying that, but I was silent about it. And then she said that, I said, okay, how am I supposed to support this baby by myself? And she said, well, you can just quit your jobs and get free stuff and collect unemployment like me. I'm like,
You need to lose that friend, whoever that is. Is this somebody that you hang out with from often?
This is one of those friends in a domestic situation. I hadn't heard from her in weeks. Her punk ass husband is out of town, so she wanted to hang out, and I told her, I'll hang out with you as long as you don't tell me anything about your situation, because I already told you I can no longer be closely involved.
Let me tell you something. So, have you ever heard the saying that you are the person that you're a product of the 5 people that you hang around the most?
Look, let me tell you something. I don't know where she got that mindset from.
But why are you hanging out?
Because she used to work. She used to love working, so I don't know where she got that mindset from.
Doesn't matter where she got it from. She has it, and so you have to avoid her at all costs, Shannon, for your own well-being.
Like I said, I told them motherfuckers that if you ain't ready to get out of your situation, don't contact me for weeks. And I hadn't heard from her in 4 weeks. It's the only time in 4 weeks that any contact since I told them that I can no longer be involved in their situation. But no, she made the own choice because her punk ass husband don't work. And she don't trust him at home with the baby. So she wanted to be at home mom. But now y'all struggling. Because y'all ain't got no other income. And that was the worst. I think that's the worst unsolicited advice that somebody could tell my ass.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I mean, it don't get too much worse than that. So, I mean, the only thing worse. She was
like, you can just tell. She's like, just tell the guy that he doesn't have to be involved in the baby, and you just want the baby, so that her 4-month-old child can have a friend to grow up with.
Yeah. So.
And then she told me that if I can't carry a baby physically, that she will carry my baby for me. And I was, good Lord, I was screaming on the inside, and I was like, no, the fuck you won't.
Look, Shannon, stop hanging out with people like Shannon. The associations that you keep and the things that you share with us, and some of these folks that you tell us about, I'm gonna be honest, I believe it may just be better for you.
But I need new friends, yes, I know.
Just be alone. Just hang out with yourself. Draw a little.
I actually like being alone.
Yeah, I think that's the best bet, because you got some questionable at best association. That's about as good as I can call it.
And I gotta ask, white people, did y'all let y'all kids cuss y'all out and then give them money? Do y'all let y'all grown adult kids cuss y'all out and give them money? That's something I've always wondered. Because growing up, I see mostly white kids cussing out their parents and saying "fuck you, mom," and then mom will turn around and give them $2,000.
Man, look, where they at? Let me meet Mama. Let me see what she got going on. She got some problems. Stop the shenanigans. So,
I left after that because she started calling her mama a bitch.
So wait, this is the friend that
And
you're
like
talking
I
about is
said,
white? The friend that you're discussing with doing this is white?
yeah, the one that I just told you is white.
Okay. Very interesting.
She calls her mama a bitch, but then turn around and will borrow money from her mama. And then ask her mama for help.
Is her dude black or white?
And I'll say, hey, that's not funny. Don't disrespect your mama in front of me.
Is
Huh?
her husband or boyfriend, whatever, is he black or white?
Her husband is white.
Shannon, get some new fucking friends. That's my advice of the day. That's my good Samaritan deed of the day. Shannon, like, just burn your life, okay? So everybody you know, just like burn the fucking bridges. Don't go back. Family, friends. If you got a pet, that motherfucker might be ruined too. Just throw him in the trash. Like, burn your life and just start from scratch. You got to push the reset button. Definitely gonna need.
I wish I could push the reset button. Hell, there's a lot of things I wish I could push the reset button on.
You can. You just gotta make the decision to do it.
No, you can't push the reset button on your virginity. I mean, hell, I wish I could go back in time to that night and be like, hey, don't do it because then you're going to meet some dude named Honcho on a fucking YouTube show talking about the worst night of your life and you lost your virginity and it's going to be embarrassing. Hell, you're going to tell him about your weird masturbation habits and everything too. And
there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's probably the highlight of the things that you have been saying the last few weeks. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with what you're saying. Yeah. So you just gotta push the reset button. You can push the reset button in Virginia. I did it. You can do it too. So it's all right. But Miss Shannon, I appreciate you calling and sharing these crazy stories. But I mean, I guess they're crazy stories if you got to live it. So just
they are crazy stories of my life.
And reconsider how you live it. All right, that's all I'm gonna say. But outside of that, I appreciate you calling in.
But yeah, I thought that was the worst unsolicited advice that anybody could ever give me. So I thought I'd let you know.
Again, abandon that friend. Throw them away. Throw them away first because they are the worst. So. But I guess I'll give you these little funky pistachios. Y'all know if you deserve it, but I guess I can slide you a couple of pistachios for your call. But I appreciate it.
All right. Well, bye everybody. Have a good day. I gotta get to my appointment. Right. My ride's here.
All right. Adios.
Bye.
Be thankful for your life, folks. Be happy about your life. Well, again, another call that I should be questionable if I should accept or not. I might actually follow my advice from the previous call. Just hang up and not even answer this call. Because this is probably going to be something sketchy as usual. But we're already here, so I guess. Fuck it. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we have calling into the den this afternoon?
Hey, what's up, Coach?
Yeah, you couldn't make my team. You B team at best. This varsity level over here.
Nah, but man, what's up, Honcho? How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, Kenneth. How are you, Kenneth?
Yeah, could be doing better. Just the sun irritated me a little bit, but doing good, my guy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what's on your mind there, Kenneth?
Man, I just want to add a little bit to the topic. You know what I'm saying? I want to bring you to kind of like an example. I want to give you an example. Like, you know how you always say that the Texans, let's bring it to the Texans. You say that the Texans always allow teams to dictate, how they play. The Texans never dictate they never dictate, you know what I'm saying?
Pause. Yeah, pause some of these. Hit the pause button a couple of times. All right, now you're saying the Texans never dictate the pace, and so
yeah.
they okay. So go ahead.
always allow teens to, to basically allow. They all fuck. God damn. They always allow teens to, basically they never set the conditions. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way when it comes to kids. You know what I mean? Y'all gotta stop letting society. You know what I'm saying? Raise your kids. You always get the first, let's say, lick. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're always the first one. So, like, they fuck you first. They come out of you. Ladies, they always come out of your child, so out of you or whatever. So it all starts at the top. In the household, you gotta raise them. You gotta give them manners. You know what I'm saying? All the basic skills that they need to go on with life. You know what I mean? And you gotta, I don't know how to say this, but there's a certain way that you gotta go about things when it comes to raising a child. I know that y'all know what I mean because a lot of y'all know, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the ladies in here, they have kids or whatever. So I know they know. You can't just be like you say, a helicopter parent in my personal opinion because once you do shit, your kids will start to feel like you just don't trust them. That's what happens with a lot of parents once they start just being all over their kids, just checking their phone constantly. And I know why y'all do that because you want to know what they're doing and all of that good stuff, but y'all gotta trust y'all kids. If y'all are so, if you trust the way that you raise them, you gotta trust them, and you can't just be all over them. You know what I'm saying? Once they become 15, 16, they want to start hanging around their friends. If they stay up about an hour later, they tell them you give them a curfew, you gotta be back at 10 or whatever. If they get back at 11, you can't just fuck with them. Give them a little warning.
Kenny, shut your ass up. Shut your ass up. If my house, my rules. Let me explain something to you because you play that leeway game, especially with kids. You give a motherfucker an inch, they'll take a mile from you. And so I understand what you're saying because you're under the guise of being a teenager. But again, there's a whole lot There's a whole lot I thought I knew at that age, and it's this. I got it all figured out. Trust me. Those people who go through the phones that do those things is because some of y'all little motherfuckers be trying to be grown and y'all are influenced. You're influenced and don't even realize how heavily you're influenced. You say you're not this, that, or third, but I mean, it without even seeing you in the physical, I think 80% of the chat can tell the things that you're influenced by. 80% of the adults in the chat can tell the stuff that you're influenced by without really second guessing.
Yeah, can you repeat that again? And I couldn't hear that, Honcho.
I said, my thing is this, is that the reason why certain parents do this, you can say, yeah, sit there and trust your parenting and all this other stuff, and yeah, that does make sense. But again, especially when you're at the age of a teenager and you're still trying to figure certain things out, that y'all are easily influenced by your peers. And so there's a lot of things that even the best parenting can't avoid. So you can't fault certain parents. Like I'm not with the whole phone checking thing at this point. If you see certain behaviors that are questionable, yeah, because you only got one life to live, and you can easily make a mistake, and that be a wrap. So I don't really fault the parents, but I'm not checking everything you do every time. If there's something questionable, then yeah, you gotta look into it because again, you don't think what was that chick who was where was that? Was that in Chicago? The chick who got put in the freezer or whatever because she was out there hanging out. You don't think her parents would have liked to have checked that phone or maybe seen what kind of behavior she was? They let her go to a little party. It's all it takes is one time. And there's been plenty of situations.
I completely understand that.
So what I'm saying is, y'all, at the age you are, you're not making smart decisions. You don't even have control over your hormones and these other things that are impacting the way that you make decisions. The majority of teens, parents, whatever you want to call it, even that are well raised, that are in good families and such, are influenced by outside sources. So my thing is, as a parent, depending on what culture you have established, what things you do have going on, and everything else, you do have to. I'm not saying be overwhelming, not be smothering, but you do have to keep a certain level of surveillance to make sure to be ahead of things that could be happening. So, like, I understand you as a kid want some freedom and stuff, but giving too much leeway, all it takes is one time and it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? All it takes is one incident and it's a wrap, or it's a record, or it's whatever it is, and you just thinking you out there having fun or doing something goofy. Trust me, I just trust me. So I understand where you're coming from. You got to, man, no. You know what I'm saying? Guidance, structure, give them limited freedoms. But hey, if I say your ass need to be home at 10 o'clock, your ass gonna be home at 10 o'clock. Like, ain't no, they came home at 11. No, ain't no giving no warning. It's your motherfucking ass, you gonna follow my rule. I set a standard for you. You're going to follow that standard, period. You can't give no leeway to no goddamn kids.
Yeah. But I can tell you, like, from personal experience, that one time, I asked my mom, can I go out? You know what I'm saying? Hold on.
Tell me how long.
Oh, my bad about that. My mom was talking to me.
Until I
But
said,
I could
hey, Miss Cologne.
hey, shut up, my nigga. Shut up. My mama married, my guy. That's
What?
tough.
What'd you say?
My
What?
mama married, my nigga.
What
That's
that
tough.
mean? You think you
Hey,
think
shut up, my
you
guy.
think
You
Gary
got
don't
lady,
know?
Honcho. Relax, my guy.
You think
Chill
Gary
out,
don't know? You
Honcho.
think Gary don't know
Ain't
that
you
shit?
raising a kid? Aren't you
Hey,
raising a
hey, you
kid,
think
Honcho?
Gary don't know? I
Hey,
multitask, my
Honcho,
nigga.
ain't you raising a
Hey,
kid?
hey, you know, hey, I'm like Tupac, nigga. I get around, nigga. I'm raising two kids.
Nah, but
I'm raising the little one. I'm raising the one on the phone. So what's happening?
you're a clown, man. But nah, man, back to what I was saying, man. It's like I could tell from personal experience that, I asked my mom to go out and she started asking me all of these questions like, who you going out with? Are you going with a girl? You going with your homies and all that other stuff? I'm like, Mom, relax. I know what I gotta do, you know what I'm saying? I know what I can and shouldn't be doing, what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be doing, and all of that other stuff. So it's like when she started asking me all these questions, I started feeling like, damn, like, do she not trust the nigga? You know what I'm saying? And I get it. You 16, you 17, you're gonna be doing a lot of fool shit that you shouldn't be doing. But it's like, damn, you raised me correctly. I know right from wrong, and that's what I want to, that's what I'm saying. Like, your kids should, if you raise your kids the right way, I feel like, you should give them a little bit more freedom and not just be all over them all of the time.
But it
You know what
doesn't
I mean?
matter.
You see what I'm
But what
saying?
I'm saying is this though. Say you this is kids, man. Like I said, we all have done it, and it's new to you, so you think you're doing something fresh. But you may say, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and there may be a change of plans. There may be we may swap it up, or especially if somebody got a vehicle or whatever you got going on. So the thing is, it's not about trusting you. It's about them having a sense of security. Hey, I'm just letting you go out into the world, and something happens, I don't hear from you. So say something does happen, I don't hear from you at all. I don't know where you at. I don't know who you were with. I have no resources to try to get to the bottom of the situation if something does happen. It ain't about trust or not trust. It's about a sense of security for the parents. So who you gonna be with? So if you go out and you don't come home tonight, I know exactly where to go to start asking questions, to start finding out what's going on, instead of me sitting here panicked and not having anything to go to, or having to hope you ain't in the morgue, or hope you ain't in. So it's about them having a sense of security. So hey, okay, well, Kenneth ain't come home last night. He said he was gonna be with some little boy named Josh. So I'm gonna call up Josh's parents. Hey, have you heard from Kenneth? Oh yeah, Kenneth's over here. He fell asleep last night. He felt it was late. He didn't want. Okay, cool. Well, Kenneth gonna get his ass whooped when he get home. That's fine. Or opposed to you not saying nothing, and your parents having no idea where you are. So that's not about you and your trust. It's about a sense of security for something that they've raised and nurtured for 15, 16 years, and making sure they want to protect something that they consider an asset or an investment, and not in a monetary way, but something that they're proud of, hopefully. Except, I don't know about their footwork, but that they're proud of, and they want to take care of, and want to continue to see growth. So that's security for them. It's not about you and your freedoms. It's about them having to understand it's not like she said, no, you can't go. It's about, okay, well, cool. Well, I know where you at. I know what's going down and where you're supposed to be. So if you don't make it there or something happens, then I have an understanding, or I know where to go as far as trying to figure out what's going on. That's all it is, man.
Right. I completely agree with that, man. There's certain boundaries that you can't be crossing as a kid, and I completely agree with that, man. And also, I can play the other side of the argument too, that you gotta monitor whatever your kids are doing, because my mama don't check my phone or none of that stuff. So it's like I'm able to do what I want, And let's say that I was gonna link up with a female or whatever. I could tell my mom that I'm gonna just go out and I'm doing shit that I'm really not supposed to be doing at my age. You know what I'm saying? So I can you know what I'm saying, I can agree with checking your kids' phone and all of that other stuff. I can agree with that, because they saying shit, they doing stuff they shouldn't be doing. So I agree with all of y'all with what y'all saying in the chat.
It's all right, because we gonna change them privileges. When I go holler at Mama Cologne tonight, I'm finna have a talk with her, serious talk with her about you and these freedoms and these privileges you have. That we need to put a little bit more, some more restrictions on you. Gary gonna make sure we get that taken care of. So enjoy it while you can.
All right, Honcho. Appreciate you letting me call in.
All right, kid, man. Appreciate the call, man.
My nigga, you play too fucking much, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying, man. I'm looking out for your well-being, Kenneth. Hey, man. Like I said, you like a son to me, son. You like the son I never want to have. So, I gotta look out for you, man.
And no, Miss Me, I don't, cause my mama out for checking my phone. She bought me the shit. How the fuck I'm gonna cuss out for it? That shit don't make no sense. I can't even, bro. I would never disrespect my mama. She would beat the shit out of me. Just like I would beat the shit out of Honcho, bitch ass nigga. Fuck you. That's where your son kind of going down.
If I wasn't expecting it, maybe it would have been something. But the fact that Kenneth is so predictable, I already knew where he was going with that. So it's all good. You know, I need to look that. I think to look that. I didn't know it was a 19-year-old that did it, so I need to look into that. That's a terrible thing. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we have calling into the den this afternoon?
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, hey, you cheated me out of my pistachio.
I was on the needle today.
Nah, you wasn't no time. I don't want no flex about it though, but you cheated me though. It's all good, though.
Even Miss Meat said I was on time. Sweetberry, she had
I
a little
don't care
grumpy
who
face.
I don't care who said you was on time. That my clock you wasn't on
No, you
time.
gotta fix your clock. You gotta get on that satellite time.
No, you trying to prove the point. Don't want to give me my pistachio, but you don't want me to be in the moderator race. That's all it is.
Nah, cause you was doubting me. You was doubting my ability, so I had to
No,
be prideful
you didn't
about
want
the
me to
situation.
have extra pistachios to pay people. That's what that shit is. See, you got your favorites you want to win, but they ain't gonna win, goddamn it. Rashida gonna win this race.
Well, we buying our votes. I don't know, man. I'm looking at the vote count. I ain't gonna say nothing. You know, I don't
But you
know.
should let us know. You should let us know at least the top 3 or top 4.
It's only like 4 or 5 of y'all. But trust me,
It's more than 4 or 5 moderators. You got about, what, 7 or 8 moderators.
It's only like 4 or 5 moderators that show up from time to time. So it's
I'm saying
people
they
who
still
moderate.
moderators.
It's people who moderate that people don't even know. They probably ain't never even seen them. They're like, who is this person?
But they still might vote for them. We don't know.
They ain't getting no votes. They ain't getting no votes.
But I think that everybody that is a moderator needs to call in and say why they should be the moderator. If you don't call in, I think you need to be disqualified.
Look at these rules and stipulations that have been applied to the situation. First bribery, now added technicalities, and I don't know what's going on.
No, I'm just saying if the people don't know who they voted for, if you don't call in to say why you should be the moderator, then I don't think they should vote for you. You're not contributing nothing. If you just sit in the chat and just go back and forth with people and you don't never call in, it's a call-in show.
I don't know. That sound like voter ID or something.
I'm just saying, though, I don't think that's fair.
Okay.
Thank you, Tanisha. And only I want to shout you out because you've been doing a great job.
I see. I've noticed an interesting trend in some of these votes, if you will. That's all I'm gonna say.
What you mean by that?
That's all I'm gonna say is that I've noticed an interesting trend in some of the voting.
What is the trend? Speak on it.
I'll
speak on everything else.
I'll talk about it later. Well, I can't because if I allude to the trending in the voting, then it may sway the votes, and so I don't want to do that. I don't want to alter the.
I know I ain't getting no votes from the men because none of them like me. They can't stand. So I'm counting on the women. I'm counting on the women vote.
That's tough. Yeah,
I'm counting on my sisters of the den to support Rashida.
That's tough, man. Like I said,
Yes, only you are a professional, girl. I would hire you in real life. If I ever ran for office, I would hire you. But you be on your shit, and you be here every day, girl. You be getting.
Let me see. All I see is, like I said, I'm just looking at the current trends in the votes.
Hey, Professor Trill, yeah, you know what? I think you the only other mod I would vote for.
That's tough.
Because you be on your shit. You be doing your job. You don't just, you sit in the chat and you talk, but you call in, too. It's more than just being a good moderator than just sitting in the chat talking to people and being nice. You have to do your job.
These levels of influence that are going on here. Interesting. Now
I ain't trying to talk about nobody. I'm just saying though.
Okay. You say.
Hey, Miss Bill, you got them 25,000 pistachios on accident because Honcho cheated me out of my pistachios, so that was some bullshit in the game. But it's all good.
That's tough.
I'm just gonna call in every day and get my statue count up because I got to pay my people. So when I say I'm gonna give you 200 for voting for me, that's what I mean. I'm gonna give you 200.
And buying
Fuck you,
votes.
Heidi. I can't stand you. Y'all shouldn't vote for Heidi ass. She ain't shit.
Well, why shouldn't they vote for the competition?
That's the worst moderator. When that would come up, that's who y'all vote for.
Mm, interesting. They forming
All
up.
Kanisha, baby, them wasn't
Merger.
shots. Them was a direct aim. Shit, there wasn't no shot. It was direct aim.
Mm, that's tough. That's tough.
Y'all ever heard her call in and she ain't gonna call in today either? Right.
So is that your official vote, female pimp? Let me know. Because I'm gonna start.
Female Pimp, did you vote for me? Because you know I got some pistachios on deck, girl. I hit your account with them.
That's tough. This is tough.
What was the topic? Why did I call in? Shit, what was the topic? I done get all fast tracked.
I don't know. We're talking about grooming, and now you're grooming. You're grooming the votes. That's what's happening.
You said I'm grooming the vote.
Yeah, now you're grooming the votes. Yeah, you're offering to pay people for their vote. That's tough.
Oh, thank you, Miss K. Grace. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's like
Heidi ain't gonna call in Professor Trill.
this is like
Never.
the
She
reverse.
never ever gonna call in. Ever.
Yeah, we're gonna have 2 hours.
I ain't even gonna waste my time talking about her. She just gonna say some stupid shit, so move on.
Do you got your emails on a personal?
Brandon,
server?
I ain't got the power to delete no emails, but I'm tired of y'all deleting my votes though. Y'all hating ass. Level up. Get your votes up.
I don't know, DeMarcus. You may not have the votes that you thought. Like I asked female pimp to confirm the vote, and she disappears. She don't even want to vote for you. That's tough. That's tough, man.
DeMarcus, ain't nobody gonna vote for you. That's a waste of a vote. Y'all need to switch them DeMarcus votes over to Rashida, because at least I got a chance.
What 7 do you see, Miss Meat? I'm trying to see where's the 7 votes you see. I have been keeping track of the votes that have come in, and not all
You ain't
votes.
been keeping track of nothing,
Not
because
all
I
votes.
told you a couple of my votes been deleted, and you ain't did nothing about it.
What I'm supposed to do? Go undelete them? How you know I ain't been keeping track? I keep these notebooks. I know what's going down over here.
Nah, you got your favorite that you want to win. He ain't gonna win though.
All I know is that I have received votes via text message, the votes via the chat. I try my best to stay on top of those because it is harder to keep up with some of that stuff. So
You know what?
That's
We
why
need a second person to count these votes, because I don't know that I trust your count.
that's why I've told people to make sure you send it via the other available
No,
social
we
medias.
need a third. We need
So
a
that
third
way-
party in on this situation.
So that way, that you can screenshot it, you have proof.
No, that's why all the votes should have been in the chat, or people should have called their vote in, so we can actually have a count too. Because I don't know if I trust people that's biased
Who
when
is
they
biased?
doing the vote count.
Who is biased?
Yeah, okay.
These are serious allegations that are being made.
There ain't no allegation, they fact.
Now people are proposing the transfer of wrenches. Okay. All right. I will log your vote.
Hey, where Craig at? Craig, you been tripping me out using your wrist. You just been whacking their ass upside the head, left or right.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice. You voted for him, female pimp.
Okay.
He need at least one vote.
There we go. Huh? Yes, I have been. I have been tinkering with the votes. See, Baker Man get that's the real bias right there. Cause I actually know Baker Band. I don't know the rest of y'all. I can't trust y'all. I gotta level it out with somebody that I know in the real world that I can trust their judgment and
Now
decision making.
the next mod needs to be another woman.
I can't trust y'all. Y'all don't want to do y'all job. Y'all be mad. Y'all done ran my boy Rob off. I ain't seen my boy Rob in a minute. You know what I'm saying? Rob will be coming to facts. Y'all be trying to blank Rob out. Because Rob was preaching the gospel. Y'all was mad, man. Rob
That's right, Miss Grace. Chicago representing. You know what? Stop all that hating. You just got your person who wants to win, but they ain't gonna win. That's all that is.
All I can do is go by the facts of what the numbers say. Okay? If the numbers
Right,
say...
the numbers that you won't tell us, the numbers that you see, but you could say, well, this person. It's all good.
I hit Roscoe up the other day. It's been a minute. Roscoe, he been dealing with some of his own thing, taking care of business. So...
Oh, damn, I forgot about all the weirdos in the den shit. I ain't gonna get none of them votes. I've been included with just about all of them shit.
Well, how you vote? What do you talk about, Shannon? What do you talk about? You vote for Miss Meat. Miss Meat is not an option to vote for. See, that's what happened. That's a write-in vote. You just wasting a vote. Now look, you got people campaigning for you.
Shannon, we not voting on new moderators. We voting on the ones that's already here.
Yeah, Shannon don't listen. See, that's the problem. That's why Shannon vote don't count. Because she don't listen to nothing nobody's saying. Just like the other day, we was talking about something. She's something come out of nowhere talking about some dick and balls. It ain't had nothing to do with the conversation. And then she... I'm talking about, what did you talk about? Oh, I don't even be listening. I just be like, so you ain't even paying attention to the vote now. We're voting for favorite moderator. And so... on Saturday will be we will take votes from now to Saturday, and then Sunday evening will be we'll announce who won the vote. So you can vote via text message, you can vote via any of the social medias. You can send a message on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or you can vote in the chat, or you can, like I said, send a text message. But it's definitely tougher to keep up with the chat. So that's why I recommend y'all send it to other places so it's easier to keep track of. Because, votes come and go. So I got to jot that. Trust me, I keep names along with the votes so I know who voted already. So y'all can't be trying to get in multiple votes and then switching screen names and, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hide all votes from Press the Trio. They're going to accidentally get relocated somewhere. So there's that.
I'll female pimp, that might be a good idea. Make some dummy accounts to vote for ourselves. I ain't think about that.
Yeah, it's tough. I go back and look at that time. These people voting only got 1 hour in the day. Interesting. Vote deleted. So go for it. Look, trust me, I have resources to make sure that these votes are accurate, factual, and valid. So.
Hey, I got a whole Facebook group full of 700 people. I should tell them all to come over here, join the den, and vote for me.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you ain't got no hours with it. Let me see. Look where it's going. I'm going to start looking at
I need to bring in reinforcements. Oh, no, I'm going to think about it.
We already lopsided in the den. The numbers is already skewed. The women folk have, nobody brought a friend to the
I'm
den.
giving out, I know you like pistachios. I'm giving out 200 pistachios for vote.
Exactly. See, Shannon in a minute, she don't even know she voted for it. See, just like most niggas, y'all niggas don't even care, but they just voting. Nobody brought a friend to the den. I said I was gonna give out bonus pistachios for anybody who brought a friend to the den today, and nobody did it. Sad. Desla say his vote can be bought. So whoever gives him the most pistachios gets his vote.
Desla, how many pistachios you want? I go up to 500 now. You gotta put vote Rashida in the thing before I pay you though. I pay on delivery.
Tough.
Hey, it ain't tough. Shit, this is business.
You gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, I can't fault you for campaigning.
I must say, I've been having fun with it. It's been a fun campaign for me.
Heidi, your friend didn't. She ain't like the ditch. Was like, is this motherfucker smoking weed? Or however she said it, and then whatever.
I'll
Yeah,
tell Heidi to shut the hell up. This is my time.
There is the race has gotten heated. Yeah, I wonder why the country's having these little small scale. This is work, but yeah, this is definitely a microcosm of the issues that we are facing in America.
My microcosm. What the hell you mean a microcosm?
You know, people out here buying votes,
So
campaigning.
that
People
ain't against
buy.
the rules. What are the rules?
The rules are: be stand up, be genuine, and win on the merit of your good character.
And when did you say that?
Just now.
After the fact.
Just now. That's when it counts right now. Damn,
The market say he's eating ass. What the?
the market eating
Boy,
ass for
you bet I'm
votes.
just giving people
Wow.
pistachios. Yeah.
Wow, the market. Wow. The market, what's the problem, man? What's really going on, man? I mean, you need to talk about it.
Shannon, all the people you see with wrenches behind their name are the mods. That's how you figure that out.
That's tough, man.
Let me tell you, the mods that you got to choose from are me and Professor Tria. That's about it. We the only two that really deserve to win.
Mm. Mm.
Now I want to see who gonna call in and dispute me.
Mm.
The only other person that call in is Professor Trilla. He ain't gonna say nothing. So let's see
Mm.
who gonna step up to the plate and dispute what I just said.
Mm.
Yeah, I threw down the challenge.
I don't know. That sounds racist to me. So you only supporting black moderators?
I'm supporting moderators that do their job.
What if somebody accused this of being racism?
Huh?
So what if somebody accused this of being racism?
Accused who of being racist?
Yeah, if you only, because the only two mods that you say you support are black, so is that not racism?
Well, if those only two doing their job, then it is what it is.
I don't know. I think that the racist accusations are coming.
Mm-hmm.
Female pimp, your vote has already been wasted. You have no other say so. You know. So Rob, there's man. I was just talking about Rob, and there goes man. Speaking of the devil, shout out to Rob, man. See, look, I was just talking about Rob, and there you go. I'm look. Normally I don't do this. I'm gonna keep it going. So Rob, cause I gotta get from my boy Rob. I ain't heard from my boy Rob in a minute. I thought y'all ran my boy Rob off. I gotta hear from Rob, man. This has been a minute. So, so what do you think about
What you
grooming
talking
kids?
about?
Huh?
About grooming kids?
Yeah, that's the topic today. So, do you think that society grooms kids?
I don't know. I just think these kids now just spoiled and everything else. They got it easier, way easier than it used to be.
So, who do you think is more responsible for what kids are out here doing these days? Should it be more on
Did
the
you count
parents?
that vote from Shannon? Shannon said, I vote Rashida. Mark it. Because I'm going to get her pistachio.
Listen, so I need to say, I'll means like having the intention to, but she has to say,
No.
I vote
No,
for
see, you
Rashida.
on that bullshit. See. Okay, Shannon, right, vote. I vote Rashida then.
Yeah, you got to make it a confirmation. I'll means having intention to do something, you know. So I need it to be a solid statement, you know, so that it can be confirmed. Look. I know times may have changed into Marky favor. You talking about eating ass for votes? The moderators, they just supposed to regulate the chat, you know, to make sure not too much nonsense is going on. But you know, that's really pretty much it. To just keep
And who actually does that? who actually uses their wrench. It ain't
Uh,
just for decoration. Some of them, the wrench just sitting up there for decoration because they don't never use. I use mine.
I don't
And
know.
not only do I use it, I also call in and participate in the topic, not just sit in the chat and talk shit.
I don't know. Some of these black moderators, these biased moderators. I don't know. Sometimes y'all be hitting folks with the band hammer. Uh,
Ain't you
yeah,
supposed to be unbiased?
yeah, I'm
Or do you
unbiased.
really supposed to comment on it,
See, but that's the
on the
thing.
race?
Huh? Yeah, I'm supposed to comment on it. I can say whatever. I'm like
You
Donald Trump
supposed
in
to
this
be neutral, right?
thing. I'm like Donald Trump in this thing. I've been seeing too much Trump
It
news.
don't really sound like you neutral.
Nah, honestly, I don't care who wins. Like I said, I'm just having fun because I know what the numbers look like, and
Yeah, I see this.
it
You
is
ain't neutral.
intriguing. So,
Hey, D. Hey, Broderick.
Roger, what's the
I know
numbers
I
gonna
got
be?
your vote.
Yeah.
Mark Broderick down, voting for Rashid. We ain't got to ask him. We already know. I know I got your vote.
But the thing is, yes, people are supposed to be able to speak freely as long as it ain't overly homo stuff. I really don't care about it. You know, everything else is cool. Just when it gets
Nah, you
all
got your picks and choose. It's all good, though.
what? No, I'm talking about when y'all coming to block it and stuff. Only things that I say the green light on as far as is Kenneth when he talking stupid, and as long as ain't nobody saying something super just
Okay, there you
gay.
go, Shannon. Time I get off the phone, you got your pistachios. Mark it. I vote Rashida. Did you not see that?
Okay, okay. We are on a bribing spree. Okay, let me
Matter of
see.
fact, Shannon, I'm gonna give you $350.
Oh, Shannon, you got gypped. Damn, Shannon, you went for cheap. Shannon went for cheap. She only got 350. That's tough. She was giving out 500 to some folks. Shannon, why you getting underpaid?
See, there you go. See, there you go with that bullshit. See, now you supposed to be neutral,
I'm
and you
just,
out here outlining that shit.
is that? But am I not speaking of fact though? I'm just saying that she got underpaid. Some folks got 500. Why Shannon
But
only get?
see, but see, now,
Mm. Why Shannon get underpaid? That's all I'm trying to ask. You know, Shannon, you got to think about. I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna impact it anymore. Uh, but no, okay. So why did Shannon only get 350?
didn't I say I was giving out 200? The other people I gave out 500 was not just because they voted for me.
Oh, okay,
But see, I shouldn't have had to explain that to you, because you're
okay.
not being neutral.
I'm just asking. I just saw some
And
folks getting 500. Look, I want the constituents to receive their fair share.
everybody not getting 500. You got to do a little extra for 500. Only that's my campaign manager, so of course she's
Oh,
gonna get a little more, because she be doing extra work.
okay. Oh, now I know. Now I understand because the campaigning. Okay. I understand. Now. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I see.
Craig, it's just all in fun to me. Shit, I'm just enjoying this shit. That's all. It ain't really that serious. I'm just really just having fun
Yeah.
and giving them pistachios.
You
Shit, you
campaign
know.
hard enough, you're gonna get elected, man. Uh,
Right.
you only allow one
Now, if
vote,
I
Shannon.
lose to somebody, if I lose shit. But I know I gave it my all. So
That's what it's about. Well, the only one I campaign for you hard
what
enough.
I'm saying, it's not no fun when people just sit up there and ain't doing nothing. You know, it ain't no fun race.
Oh,
It's supposed to be fun. You know, don't seem like much fun, but hey, there you go. Only see you be on top of your shit, girl. That's why you retired.
people offering upsells and that's tough, man. This is tough. Interesting, very interesting. What's going on here? Okay.
Miss Grace, I don't know what she gonna do for vote shit. Hey,
Mm, that's tough. That is tough. The market out here looking like Cory Booker in the
well,
game.
Brandon, you don't feel like you got the campaign. Hey, that's on you. I enjoy campaigning.
Oh man, the market gets skipped. Period. Uh, okay. Well, Miss Rashida. Oh yeah, look, Heidi will twerk on the ground for. She'll give you free access to the Snapchat.
I'd rather other moderators not be mentioned during my call and during my time.
You mentioned the other moderators. How you gonna say you'd rather not? They'd rather not be mentioned when you mentioned them.
See, there you go again, being biased.
How am I being biased? You mentioned them. You mentioned Trill. You
See,
mentioned
you know
Brandy. You
what?
mentioned.
I'm being railroaded, y'all. Y'all see this shit.
This is politics at its finest, right here.
That's what it's about, though. It's about politics. It's part of politics. It's supposed to be like this.
Shannon trying to take the vote back.
Huh?
Shannon trying to take the vote back. She says she ain't been paid yet. She taking her vote back.
Oh, no, she can have that vote for 2,000 pistachio. No, she needs that one. I'm good, Shannon. You can take it back and give it to Heidi.
Okay.
That's a little too rich. I could get, I need 3 or 4 more votes. I could buy me about 5, 6 votes for that shit.
So look, we done they done changing hands. Look, y'all. I don't know about y'all, man.
I don't care about Shannon turning on me. Hey, get your money.
Say, listen, the market might be stealing the vote from me. Look, people offering guaranteed assy. What is going on? This is interesting. This is very interesting.
Well, all right, I'm finna go. I ain't got to get Shannon no pistachio since she done checked out on me for some extra pistachio. It's all good.
Yeah, that's a bit. Well, I appreciate you calling in and presenting the foundations of your campaign, and so that the people know what they're voting for.
I see she threw me under the bus for 2,000, but hey, that's on her. She all good with me. She still good with me.
Okay. Interesting.
That's part of politics. So, you win some and you lose some. So, hey.
You're gonna have to up the ante, man. They raising the stakes on you.
No, I ain't up to shit. I ain't going over 500 for no voters. If you want over 500 for your vote, you can keep it. Shit.
Okay. Well, that's a BET and Miss Rashid. I appreciate you calling in.
Okay, then you take care.
All right, you too.
I didn't even talk about the time.
Nah, you just over here, marketing and campaigning. I can't believe it. It's all right. It's all good.
But at the end of the day, y'all really should vote for people that actually call in.
Okay. He said so people who share their personality with the den is what she's saying.
And Heidi, you bald head down, but you can't take back votes. People already in the cast they vote. Go ahead on that bullshit.
Okay.
All right,
Miss Rashid, I appreciate you calling in.
Okay, bye-bye.
It's tough. The campaign, the race is getting heated. It's only Monday. Let's see where we at. What's the motherfucking deal? Who got called into the den this evening or afternoon?
Hey, it's afternoon. Hey, it's Bill. I had to call back.
All right, Miss Bill, what's on your mind?
Shannon, shout out to her for sharing, because that wasn't easy. But she asked something about white mamas with their kids behaving badly and giving out money. Oh, hell no, this mama ain't going to give any funds out if the child's behaving badly. Just had to say that for the record. Now, on another note, I want to write in. I think the mods ought to go head-to-head about what they do for their being a mod, if they want the award. That's a write-in, so it can definitely be vetoed. I don't have a problem with that, but to keep it a little, active, so to say, because it's becoming a real political firestorm around here, which is not completely a bad thing.
That might actually be a good idea. Let them explain their policies, if you will.
Now, I definitely see, Rashida, you're doing the most politicking and the most vote grabbing, which is great, and you justifiably so. I think that's cool. I think everybody has a good reason because Honcho picked them for a particular reason, just like a president picks his cabinet. So show us what your strong suit is, and that's kind of the point of that.
Yes, I agree.
So I'm just going to kind of go back into the boards and see what's up, but I just wanted to kind of throw my shout out on that. And I am not voting until Saturday, so, and I can't be bought.
Integrity and honor, that's what I'm talking about.
Hell yeah, that's what I built my reputation on. If I can't give you a handshake and integrity, then what the hell does that mean? That's old school shit. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'll be on the boards, and then do we even have a topic for tonight?
Yes, I will be posting the topic for tonight a little bit early, a couple hours early.
That works. All right. Have a good one, Honch.
All right, Ms. Bell, appreciate the call.
Yep.
Okay. So I guess that's that allows, that helps. What is the foundation? What is it for all the mods that are in here that are up for the vote? In one line, what would you say your best moderating feature is? What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this afternoon?
Bad and bougie.
Bad and bougie. How are you this afternoon?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing excellent. How do you feel about today's topic?
About what?
I said, how do you feel about today's topic?
I thought it was grooming, but I know we talked about some other stuff as well. I think that, I'm sorry. That was my CEO walking by.
What's up, CEO? Is it a Mr. or a Mrs.?
Huh?
Is it a Mrs. or a Mr.?
Oh, my CEO?
Yes.
It's a guy.
Okay, well, shout out to Mr. CEO. All right.
Well, no, as far as the grooming thing goes, I know we talked about several different ways of grooming, like with regard to the child molestation and stuff like that. But I also think, and the young man that called up about letting teenagers, kind of do their thing. And I raised 3 boys, and I absolutely disagree with that. I feel like we kind of, well, all our sons played sports, so they were kind of busy. But even until they graduated, we pretty much kind of knew where they are at all times. Even if, as they got older and started driving, they still had to let us know where you're going, when you plan on coming back. Now, true enough, they could have gotten in the car and lied and went somewhere else. But, I mean, pretty much as long as they, met curfew and kind of did what they were supposed to do as they got older. But I would say up until like 16 driving age, no, I needed to know where they are all times. And I was one of those mothers that I like to have all the boys at my house like they were football players. So I'll be like, well, bring your friends over here after the game. I'll cook a big old pot of spaghetti. I'll go to the pool or whatever. I liked them to be, you know what I'm saying? I like to meet all their friends, know who their friends are, know who their friends' parents are. I was all up in their business. I didn't really get into the checking of the cell phone or anything because, I mean, what is that really going to tell me? But I did make sure that I kind of kept a hand on everywhere they kind of go. And, I mean, I didn't have no high school grandkids or, no craziness like that. So I think that it worked out pretty well. With my daughter, it was a whole different level of being in her business. I mean, her daddy today is still in her business. So I think that's how it goes sometimes with girls. But I wanted to talk about grooming in another way, too. You were talking earlier in your commentary about, people kind of being so open with, children's sexuality and saying, oh, he said he likes dresses, so now I'm just going to let him wear dresses, and he's 3 years old. I feel that as parents, no, that's not the answer. The answer is you're a boy, you don't wear dresses. Now if they get over puberty and they still have these desires, and once they know what sexuality really is, then yeah, give them their freedom. But I just feel like now it's almost being pushed on the kids. Like, for example, like Gabrielle Union. You see what she did with her stepson, taking him to gay pride and dressing him up as gay, whatever. I think he's like 9 or 10 years old. I think that we're trying to grow these babies up too soon. And, I just think that until they're of a certain age, that it should be, no, that's not what little girls do, or that's not what boys do, or I think we just need to let them be babies as long as possible. And when they get to that age, like for example, here in California, in junior high, they're doing this class. It's called Gay Awareness. And the class is basically teaching kids that you don't have to be, afraid. Be proud of who you are. If you want to, I don't know the whole curriculum, but basically it's like from how my coworker explained to me, because my coworker actually said she was keeping her child home for the day because she didn't want her daughter to go. Because she's like, we haven't even talked about that yet. She hasn't even started her period yet. Why are we talking about, you know what I'm saying? She was like, I just don't think I'm ready for my daughter to be taught this kind of lesson. So I don't profess to know the whole curriculum, but she said it was basically about telling kids that they need to be accepting, and they need to, if this is their feelings, they can go ahead and come out. And I'm just like, nah, hell to the nah. Like, what are we doing? These are junior high school, really? So I think that in society nowadays we're doing a lot of that. It was another actress that she's a white, I can't think of her name, but anyway, she had what I guess a lot of America assumed was two girls. She had one that she gave birth to, one that she adopted from Africa. Well, all of a sudden it came out like about a month ago that we thought the one that she gave birth to was a girl. It wasn't a girl. It was a boy. But she said that from the time he was a toddler, he always wanted to wear girl clothes, so she just let him wear girl clothes, and he's been wearing them ever since. Now, to me, that's more like maybe he saw his sister with girl clothes and just said, hey, I want to wear that too. And I think my answer would have been, no, that's for your sister. You wear whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. I don't think at 3 years old I would have said, oh, he said he wanted to wear a dress, so guess what? I'm just dressing him gay for the rest of his life. Like, to me, I think it's over the top, and hi Tanya, and we're doing a little too much grooming. Like, what are we doing? Like, let kids be kids. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't force them into choosing their sexuality or something like that before they even hit junior high, before they even, get pubic hair. Like, come on, what are we doing? So that's what I wanted to say on that as well.
Okay, I agree, and that's the thing, and that's kind of where I was. It's kind of with society pushing these things, like you said, the gay awareness class. Well, what if my family doesn't necessarily embrace that idea, or we don't support that idea, and now you're pushing these thoughts into the kids' heads. And so I'm assuming you said that she was keeping her daughter home that day, so there was some type of form or something given out.
Right. Yeah, you had to, just like how they give sex education. I guess it was the same type of deal. They gave you a form, or let you know when the class was going to happen. And she just said, I'm keeping her home because I don't. She said she hasn't asked me anything about sex or sexuality or anything yet. So I don't think she's ready to have this type of class.
Yeah, I agree. That's the thing. Yeah, and because people start. There's certain conversations that it should be up to the parent, and that's why I think we talked about it a while back. Though, in this day and age, though, because of all the technology and everything that's going on, and they're pushing, sexuality in the cartoons. Who was the guy, the rat from Arthur? He's gay, and there's a lesbian My Little Pony now.
Yes.
And all of these things that they're forcing it into the children. Like, nobody was thinking about that. That's not something that kids are thinking about, But now you're forcing parents to have these conversations sooner. And again, the thing about kids, they're young. Once you start putting certain ideas and concepts in their head, especially at a young age, I think it skews their thought process, because then they start kind of, wondering, well, what's this about? What's going on? And I think I think there's just certain things that should be left up to the parents. But again, I don't think society's allowing that leeway anymore, because again, like I say, they're starting from young kids and pushing these ideas.
Yeah, I mean, even with, I have a stepson, he's only 8 years old, and even he wrote a letter to this girl and said that he wanted to kiss her 100 times. And so my husband found the note and was like, you know what, because he was checking his backpack, before he goes to school, and he was like, why you write this note? And he was like, because I wanted to kiss her. And he was like, where did you, get this from? And he said it was one of, because he watches a lot of the, Nickelodeon, all that. He said it was on so-and-so show. I don't know the show. And so then he said he was watching the show with him, because he was like, we got to look at this show. And it is. It's about, kids in high school and kissing and, your first kiss and all that kind of stuff. And so even though you might think your kid is watching a children's channel, you still have to be aware, because there's some topics that you may not want your 8-year-old, to look at. And so it's a lot more, some children's TV is a lot more advanced sometimes than we think, Like, I've sat there and watched, shows, and I'm like, whoa, they doing that, on the kids channel. So I just think that it's different nowadays. It's really different, and even things like, my granddaughter's iPad, she blocks a lot of stuff. She can't see this, she can't see that, she can't see this, she can't see that, and she'll try to go to it, and I don't know how, but she blocks it, and my granddaughter will come to me and say, unlock this show for me so I can see it. And I'm like, why? And she's like, because my mommy locks everything. But I'm like, nowadays, you almost have to, because this internet is crazy. Like one time, my stepson was playing Fortnite, and I guess you can talk to your opponent, and the opponent said, you suck, faggot. So my stepson said, no, you suck. That devil. I was like, wait a minute. What are you talking to? Because he's only supposed to talk to people he knows. And then he was like, I said, do you know them? Who's talking like that? Thinking it's one of his cousins. And he was like, nah, I don't know him. And I was like, see. So it's so dangerous nowadays. And, this grooming can come in a lot of ways, just through the internet. A guy starts talking to a little girl, oh, you 13. Oh, I'm only 16. Come to find out this is a 20-something-year-old man, so it's a crazy world.
I agree. Yeah, it is. It's wild. Even on those, what's that there was something that the little one used to be, her little friend, her mom used to let her little friend would come over and stay the night, and she had a little iPad or something. They would play Roblox, I think it was. And I guess in those chats, you can talk to anybody and everybody. And he was like, nah, that ain't welcome. Look, the kid is free to come over or whatever, but we won't be playing that over here. And if she goes over there, we don't want her playing on that type of shit. That's not what's kosher. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got all these adults, especially you just giving your kid a device and you're not regulating what they're watching. And I agree. Do a thing where whatever she watches, you have to tell me what it's about. You have to be able to give me a clear, concise explanation of what you're watching, what goes on. If you can't do that or whatever, then you can't watch this. Because, like I said,
right.
I want to have an understanding of what's happening. And I don't see anything wrong with that because, like I said, influences are everywhere. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I have an opinion on the moderator election. I know I'm new to the channel. So I think an important part of the selection process, and I don't even know who all the moderators are because I'm new, but I think it should be who's welcoming to new people.
Interesting.
Because some people just when you're new, they don't talk to you. They only talk to the people that they know that's been there for the beginning. They just you're not. It's like you're not there. So I think people that are welcoming to, which everybody was welcoming to me. So I'm not trying to be funny. But I think that's an important thing of who is welcoming because, that helps grow the channel. The more people come and the more people feel welcome, the more people, I tell people just like Joy told me, about your channel. So I think that's important.
I agree. You got that down. Yeah, let's look at that. Welcoming. Who is welcoming? I see certain folks are welcoming of new folks. I see other folks. I don't know. I don't want to say no names. I don't want to be biased. But okay, absolutely. I think that is a good suggestion.
All right. Well, I will let you go. I'm going to get back into my office now.
All right, Ms. Van Bush. Well, I appreciate you for calling, and I thank you for sharing your thoughts with us this afternoon.
All right. Y'all have a good afternoon.
All right,
Bye.
Gotta check my credit card statement after that call. Woo! Rob, where you at, man? I want to hear from my boy Rob, man. I ain't heard from my man Rob in a minute, man. There's been some interesting topics we've had too. I've been wondering what Rob is. I definitely love to hear from Rob and standards. We've been using that reference for a while now. Since Mr. Rob, he gave a fire call a couple of months back, and I think that is what it is. Now the winner gets an award and gets appreciated and elevated above all others. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening? What the fuck is that?
Nah, fuck that, cuz.
We banging in the den.
Who's welcoming? Who's welcoming? Fuck that welcoming shit. Y'all welcome to come up in here and face the wrath and the torture just like everybody else, goddamn. Ain't no love in the den chat. Y'all know that shit. So stop acting like y'all brand new.
But that's the okie doke, you know what I'm saying? You welcome them in, let them get comfortable, and then next thing you know, they bombarded and burning in toxic acid because, the den it will consume you quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, fuck that. We straight hard, straight shots, no chaser, man. You get the full effect as soon as you get in this motherfucker. No mercy, no holds barred. But no, I am pretty welcoming to new people until they start typing some bullshit. And once you start typing some bullshit, I'm on your head. It's just the way it goes. So I'm not gonna campaign or nothing. My work and or contributions speak for themselves. So if you like it, you do. If you don't like it, you don't. It's just that simple. If you fuck with me, you fuck with me. So vote for who you want, who you prefer. I don't really give a shit because I ain't going nowhere. I'm still going to be a mod, goddamn. Ain't nobody going to take me off the top of the mountain.
You staked his claim.
Yeah, because I got voted when we did the last award show. I was one, what was it, the MVP or moderator of the year, whatever the hell it was. I won. So I'm in the Hall of Fame. I won the first inaugural election or whatever you want to call it. So we don't have no terms. You in there forever.
It's like the Ring of Honor.
Says me. God damn it. It don't even matter what Honcho say. Honcho ain't got no say either. Fuck that. I'm in here.
I tear down the wall, the hall, the ring, whatever it is. God damn it.
But now, speaking on the topic though, all bullshit aside, I really don't like it. I just don't like where we going. It's little girls and little boys, man, like now more than ever, it seems like we trying to penalize the boys for being boys. Boys ain't supposed to be like girls are supposed to be all nice and quiet and fucking docile. Boys are supposed to be rowdy and rambunctious. That's just natural. And all this other shit, you just pushing them against what they naturally feel on the inside. And then now you trying to tell them that what they naturally feel on the inside is that they want to be a girl. Like, what kind of shit is that? You want them to fight against their natural instincts and turn them into something completely different. I don't like that at all. Even for a girl, too, don't push her to try to be like a dude. Let her be a fucking girl if she wants to be feminine. If she wants to play with dolls, let her play with dolls. If she don't fuck with Legos, she don't fuck with Legos. That's just it. I mean, you could buy something to see if she might like it, but if she's not interested, just let her do what she do. Just let them do what comes naturally to them. So I don't see nothing wrong with that. Because there's some people that say that, it's wrong for people in society to give a boy Legos and give a girl Barbie dolls. That don't help her find interest in one of the STEM fields. What if she just don't show any interest in that shit? Like, what are you supposed to do? You supposed to force that shit on them? No, I ain't never really been big of forcing some shit on somebody unless it's just something that they just have to do in life. Like if they just don't like math, but of course you're gonna have to have math, then you ain't got no choice but to force that on them. But other shit that's not really necessary, come on, man. I think we just go too far with some shit. People taking this shit way too far. Boys going to school in a dress. Well,
so how do you feel about what Miss Banducci just called and said about this thing in California in junior high about a gay awareness class? Is that something that they should be focused on?
Oh my God. I mean, in a way, I understand it, but in like, why the fuck does that need to be taught in school? Why don't you teach them something about credit in school? That's some shit that's gonna have a longer lasting effect on them. Exactly. To me, that's more important than teaching them about some gay shit. That's the parents' role. They supposed to teach them that shit. And look, I do agree with what Miss Bougie said, and I feel for people. But at the same time, and I'm talking about the issue of letting a kid be a kid, and I agree with it. But unfortunately, these days, man, childhood is getting cut shorter and shorter. And it's not because you want to do it, but you have to. You have to try to protect them. You got to give them some kind of knowledge so they will understand what the fuck is going on when they see some shit that just don't look right. You know what I'm saying? So you got to prepare them for some of the worst, most vile shit that they could be subjected to. You know what I'm saying? You got to tell them about, stranger danger. If a person try to touch you inappropriately, who to talk to, who you supposed to trust, who you not supposed to trust. You know what I'm saying? How you supposed to carry yourself? Where not to go and where to go. Always let me know where you at. You know what I'm saying? Don't lie to me because, this and this can happen to you if you stray away from that. Don't listen to your friends. Don't let them set you up, you know what I'm saying, for some bullshit. Unfortunately, you got to go through that with your kids now, man, because if they fall subject to them and it's because you never taught them or told them about it, that's on you. You got to try to protect them or get them to protect themselves the best way they can because you can't be around your kids 24/7. So you got to impart them with some kind of knowledge, some survival way of survival, man. You just got to. And then it's real sad and it's extremely unfucking fortunate that you have to subject them to that shit. But man, you got to. You got to. For their benefit, not for your feelings. And I know it's probably a very uncomfortable conversation to have with your child, but you got to have it. That's part of being an adult and being responsible. You got to do some shit you don't want to do. Just like we got to get them to go to work every day. We don't want to do that shit, but you got to do it. So, unfortunately for the kiddos, the world is a sick, twisted, and fucked up place. But that's the reality. So we have to deal with the reality, not the fantasy.
I agree. And the crazy part about it is tying into what Shannon mentioned earlier. Something that the fucked up part is you got to teach them about your own family sometimes, and that's crazy
bro.
Shit.
Can't leave them with certain family members, man. And then sometimes, I mean, come on, man, y'all know y'all people. Yeah. You don't want your daughter hanging around with certain cousins of hers because they got a reputation. You don't want her to pick up on that shit or her to be seen in that light at all. Because trust me, them motherfuckers are just like people who do drugs. And I always found this, people that do drugs always want to entice other people to do drugs with them. I never understood why they do that. But, people of the sluttish nature, they tend to do the same thing. They want somebody else to join the gang so they can have somebody to party with or enjoy some dick with. I don't know how that works. It don't make sense to me. But that's the reality of it.
That's true.
But it's sad. It's really fucking sad.
I agree. Okay. Can't dispute that, man. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, that's it. That's all I had.
Okay. Well, Professor Trill, I appreciate you calling in and sharing that with us. Even though yeah, I think somebody was throwing some salt on you in the chat. You know, you can look into that. I don't know. I ain't saying nothing. You know, I don't know nothing about that. But
That's some what in the chat?
I think somebody might have been throwing salt. I might be misinterpreting. Somebody might have been throwing some salt in the chat. I don't know.
Oh, and before I go, I need to apologize to Miss Bell for a comment that I made yesterday evening when I said something about her husband should divorce her. I did say that part because I went back and watched the stream because I know I said something about her alarm clock being broke, but I forgot that her husband had passed. So, Miss Bell, I sincerely apologize. I shouldn't have said that. That was a very distasteful comment.
That sound like a trio being a stand-up dude, man. That's stand-up stuff right there. Gotta respect it. Okay. But she called in afterwards. I don't know if she said that. She didn't take too much offense to it. You know, maybe sometimes people have brain farts and stuff like that. But still, salute to you.
Okay, that's cool.
For calling in and still owning up to that. So, shout out to Trio. This is why the Den is a beautiful place. You know.
Yeah, the Den is kind of like Jamaica. It's beautiful on the resort. Once your ass get to the outskirts, you better watch your ass, nigga.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Motherfuckers will run up on you, man.
What they say, what's the saying? If you grin, you in. Yeah, you gotta be careful of Den. You can't laugh at nobody joke. As soon as you laugh at somebody, you in this? You grin, you in? Okay, that's your ass too.
Well, all right, Honcho.
All right, that's a bit Professor Trill. I appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Oh man. That's the problem out there. You just better stay somewhere where it's safe. You just you can look out there, and it looks nice. As soon as you step out there, that's your ass. That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious. You know what I'm saying? Damn, female Pimpton got jumped. What's going on with that? Oh well. Okay. I see Rob say he drops on. If you got here we go. Wow. There we go. I know it's been a minute. I know you've been trying to get in, but who do we have calling in to the Den this afternoon?
This is Miss Grace. It's about time I got through.
Yes, Miss Grace. I know you've been trying to get in. It's just the timing been a little bit off. But look, I was gonna stay live. I was trying to stay live till I got you. I was hoping to get Rob, but I'm gonna probably have to. This probably gonna have to be the last call. But so what's on your mind, Miss Grace? Just let's talk to the people. They'd love to hear from you.
To my little Shannon, my baby Shannon, you have to get away from certain people. You know what I mean? You have to learn that you can feel lonely in a crowd and not feel lonely by yourself. You mean I had to get to that point. My circle is so small, I talk to myself. I don't deal with a lot of people because you have to get rid of people. You mean especially people that are draining. If people are not filling you with something wonderful and magical, then you leave them alone. They can either fill you or they drain you. When they drain you, leave them alone. You mean I can travel the whole world by myself, and people act like I'm the only person. And I said, no, I run into other people. I meet people. You know what I mean? We exchange numbers. If we want to go on tours together, we do. And if I don't ever want to deal with them again, I don't. And I've made some wonderful friends that we keep in contact. That's for Shannon. To the young man that I think his name is Kenneth, he said that that something about his mother not trusting him or whatever. Not that she doesn't trust him necessarily. She doesn't trust other people. You know, that's what I have to tell my kids. And even when I taught them to drive, and I'd say, you got to be careful. Well, Mommy, I got the right of way. Yet you know you have the right of way, but there's a lot of fools out here that don't realize and don't care that they don't have the right of way. So when you get out there and drive, you have to drive for other people, not just for yourself. You got to drive for everybody. And everybody's on the phone today. And then Miss Bougie with that pretty voice. I wish I had a voice so lovely like that. She said something about we growing these kids up too soon. We are. And the kids have too many decisions to make. You mean, so I have to narrow it down. Parents need to narrow it down. They need to pull it back. You mean, the kids don't need to have 10, 20 decisions to make. You give them 3 to 5, and that's it. Those are your choices. That's it right there, the end. Okay? And, Yet my daughter, with my granddaughter, she has to put locks, blocks, and restrictions and everything on her cell phone because she got a cell phone a few years ago because we don't let her sleep out anywhere, and she was crying and wanted to finally sleep out at one of my childhood friends' houses because she was doing something over there for New Year's. You know, so my daughter works for the school department, but she works on the side sometimes for her, in her friend's cell phone store. You mean, so she went there and then she got herself a little phone. So I said, Nola, you know, if anybody bothers you, if anybody touches you, if you feel uncomfortable, anything, you call Mommy, you call Grammy. Don't even worry about it. We will get up and we'll be there in a jiffy. Don't worry about waking us up. You know what I mean? So that's why how she ended up with a cell phone, and then she's had one since. But we do have to monitor it. You know, thank God my daughter's, you mean, a great mom. She didn't want to have kids, and she has a daughter. It made her a better person. Because I said, if kids don't make you better, I don't know what the hell to tell you. She's a great mom. You know what I mean? She's beautiful. She's soft-spoken, and she's not rough around the edges like I am because my kids don't have the street in them. You know what I mean? She just, yeah, she's wonderful. But also, when my mother was coming up, she was the oldest. My grandparents stayed together, and they had 18 kids. My mother was the oldest girl, so she had to drop out of school. She didn't even make it off the 5th grade, because she had to be home to help her mother raise those kids. But that's the way that it was. You mean, so we my cousins and aunts and uncles and sisters and brothers, we're all like the same ages. You know, we have aunts and uncles that are younger than us and older. That's the way it is, because our grandmother, I never met my grandmother, but she was having kids, and her daughters were married and having kids also, because that's just the way it was back then. You mean, so I try to make sure that I didn't want my children, you know what I mean, to have to be my son babysitting my daughter and things all the time, except for when I went to school. But there was an understanding that we are and we work as a team. Even when I got my foster son, he learned that we work as a team. There's not a man in this house. You mean, hardly any guys that I've seen or dated or messed with got to meet my kids. You have to be a special kind of man to get into my house and meet my kids. Nobody gets near them. You mean, we're like a fort unto ourselves. We're like a club. Others don't get to come in and meet them. You mean, that's a privilege. That's an honor. My children are my trophies, and my stretch marks are the stripes that I proudly earned. You mean, for them, so nobody gets near them. And my daughter used to get mad when I would always ask her about her friends. She couldn't sleep out. Boy, Mommy, you always ask me, did anybody ever touch you? This, that, another. I constantly questioned her because I told you I have been this size since I was damn near 12 years old. God blessed me with a devastating body, and so I always had to fight off, you mean, older men, you mean, boys, and so I was always prepared and always in my stance, always ready, always on the defense. You mean, because you had to be ready for it. I knew it was coming. You mean, and all the girls in the neighborhood, we knew the boys that would sit there and want to rape and do things. I never got raped or anything like that, but I did have an aunt, the aunt that's still with that uncle that molested her daughter, her stepdaughter, when I got to sleep at her house, and I was to live closer to the school, but we were some bad little ghetto kids, and I was in the bedroom, you know what I mean, and I woke up, I felt something, and the man came into the room with a T-shirt on and his ding-ding out. Well, I'm going to tell you, my aunt came up behind him, was beating him upside the head with a pocketbook, and she sat down, oh, please don't tell your mother, because she's my mother's baby sister, my mother's the oldest. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I used that to get what I wanted. She let me cook up Chef Boyardee spaghetti. I got to make pizzas. I called my cousins Babs and Lois. I said, Auntie Rosie's boyfriend came over, and he came into the bedroom, and we little girls were giggling. It was a winter time. They walked over to pick me up from school, and we went outside, and we called that freaking nigga all kinds of names. He was outside warming up his car. We were calling him, you fucking dirty pig, you nasty pig. We were throwing snowballs at him, and my aunt could not tell my mother that we were swearing or anything because she would have got herself in trouble. Yeah, we cussed, but thank God we were strong little. So I try to teach my kids to be strong. The other thing, kids being groomed, they've taken the power away from the parents. You can just about spank your kids. Today, they investigate, even in the schools, and call anything child abuse. And I said, if what my mother did, the way she spanked us, you know what I mean? We got it with a belt right on the butt, a naked behind. We got a belt. We got the extension cord. Yes, we did. Did she abuse us? No. It was a good spanking. Everyone in the whole neighborhood got them. But I said, if that was child abuse, I said my mother should be on death row. You know what my kids told me? and Mommy, you should be shackled right next to her. Okay. You mean, because you got your ass beat. That's all to it. You know what I mean? And even in college, when they would say things about raising children, I beg to differ with some of my professors. You know what I mean? When kids acted up in the supermarkets, you know what I mean? Even if you have a carriage full of food, you let the kids act out. You leave the carriage full of food right there. You take the kid outside. You sit down. You talk to them. You drive the kid all the way home. You put them in time out. I said, are you kidding me? I said, there is no way I'm going to go into the supermarket, be grocery shopping, and my kids are going to act up on my little bit of gas in the car. I'm going to go home and come back. My kids were well-behaved. And my mother, everybody said we were well-behaved. When my mother walked us from the west end of New Bedford to the south end to go visit her cousins, she had us all. You mean she fed us ahead of time? We were cleaned up and everything, and she would say, you mean now I fed you? When you get down there, you better not ask for anything. And she would grit her teeth, and we knew better. Everybody said we were so well behaved, and my kids the same thing. I fed you, and my mother babysat. You mean when I had to go to school, even if I wanted to go out, I had to make sure that I had to give them a bath, feed them their supper, and then my mother would babysit. And that's the same way I was with my nieces and my great nieces and nephews, because for New Year's I babysit everyone's kids when they were younger, because I don't want them out there with the drunk driving. But I said, make sure you give those little monkeys their baths. You feed them unless I say I'm going to order pizza for them or I'm going to cook for them, just so I can read with them and watch television. You mean there were rules. You mean, and they know enough not to misbehave in Titi Kathy's house, because I would sit there and swing a strap even though I never had to hit them, but they were afraid that I would. In school with in the same sex, years back when I was working at the middle school, when this freaking bisexual gay, to me, either you were gay or you were when I was coming up. Now they have a whole continuum, you know, of different kinds of gayness. But one of my girls, another gay girl, tried to approach her, and my student came and told me because she didn't want to be bothered. When that happens in schools, the kid that resists, the kid that approaches them, that wants to be gay with them or make a move on them, the kid that resists is the kid that's reprimanded, because then they have to go to guidance, and they're accused of being intolerant. Who do you think you are? You think you're better. You mean? And that's what they do. So it's almost like they're forcing these kids to be gay. You mean? I tell the kids, everything isn't okay. With my kids, I don't want you to think that everything is okay, because everything's not. With my granddaughter, I don't want you to think that everything is okay, because it's not. You know, if you want to dress like a boy one day, that's fine. Because I said when Grammy was a little girl and we played outside, you mean, when I had to go to the bathroom to go pee, I didn't want to go in, because once my mother spotted me, then it was time for her to throw me in the tub and put me to bed. You know what I mean? And I wanted to run back outside, and then I have to start all over again. So I said I wanted the boys got to just pee in the bushes. I said Grammy wanted, I was squeezing my little coochie lips together because I wanted to learn to pee like a boy, so that I didn't have to go into the house to pee, so I can continue playing outside. You mean today they would step there and tell you, okay, that's okay. If you want to pee like a boy, that means you want to be a boy. They would have dressed me up in boy clothes. You mean? But that's just the way it is today. You mean, any little thing. If a kid like Charlene Theron, the actress there from South Africa, the blonde chick, where she adopted that little black boy, and he was in the house with her, you know, and the little girl, and he said, oh, I want to be a girl, because he was in the house with two females, 3 years old. Then she goes and she dresses him up in pink tutus and puts long extensions in his head. She needs her ass beat for that bullshit. You mean, that's crazy. You know, so, and then the talk shows also have an influence. Look at that little girl that became famous. Catch Me Outside girl.
Yeah.
How do you explain that to kids? That little girl's out there cussing out her mother on television. Catch me outside. How about that? How about that? She's bigger than life right now. She's famous. She's a multimillionaire. She's all rich, you know, out of being disrespectful. And she got rich and famous. You know, and with my daughter, only one time, I don't know if I told you this before, that my kids never challenged me. But when I came home from Bridgewater State College after 11 o'clock at night, the next morning when they were getting ready for school, my son came to me and he said, Mommy, Dable said, I don't know why I don't hit her, because I know I can take her. What? I snapped. And she was in middle school. I rolled up my sleeves. I started jumping around like I was Mike Tyson. You know, and I said, come on. I'm gonna beat you like a bitch in the street. Nothing that popped out of my pussy is ever gonna challenge me. Come on, I'm gonna break your nose. I'm gonna blacken your eyes. I'm gonna knock your teeth out. I'm snapping your arm. And when you go to school, you can tell them I did it. And when they come to arrest me and the judge wants me, I'm gonna give them a tip. And when you leave, you're leaving naked because you're not leaving with the clothes that I worked hard to buy you. Kept saying, Mommy, no, Mommy, no. And now the thing of it is, my daughter and I are the very best of friends. She was a bit more challenging, than the boys, but we 5 girls were that way with my mother. My mother wanted us all to be boys because the girls were easier. This is one last thing I want to say to people. Watch your daughters. Watch your daughters closely as soon. When they're 13, when they're 14, you really watch them. Because all kinds of things are going on. To Professor Trill, we hope that our children listen to the things that we teach them when they go out into the world. We hope that they take it with them and they apply it. But they don't always, not everything, because I know he has done things that his mother didn't want him to do. We all have. You know what I mean? So, but it's the good grace of God that we're okay, because kids don't listen to every single thing, not when they get out of our reach and out of our sight. They're going to try some things, but watch your daughters, because I know the case. One of my daughter's friends, she had a terrible life. She grew up rich. The grandmother died. All 3 of those rich kids turned out to be drug addicts. And Vanessa is a domestic goddess. She's wonderful. But her mother started prostituting out there and had her. She became my daughter's friend when they were in their late teens. But when she was like 14, 15, 16, she was her mother's sidekick when her mother was ripping off the tricks when she was prostituting. And Vanessa learned to do that. So at a young age, Vanessa and there was some other teenage girl, she told us, she was kidnapped and taken to in the New York, New Jersey area with these older men, and one of them was a prominent man that owned pizza parlors in the New York area, and he used to keep those young girls in the house in captivity, and they used to put clear plastic bags over their heads and take their belts and wrap it around those little girls' necks. And those guys used to get off of watching those girls and the bag fog up trying to breathe. Can you believe that bullshit? Watch the daughters, I tell everyone, because I've had to fight off guys, so none of those things ever happened to me. And the other thing that Vanessa said, she said one of the girls, the guys were shoving things up her butt, and the girl threw up. So what they did was they gave her a spoon and they videotaped her, and they made that little 14-year-old girl sit there and eat her throw up with a spoon and videotaped it. Can you believe that bullshit? So I tell people, watch, and now probably say watch the boys too, but watch your daughters. As a female, as a girl, Oprah Winfrey said a long time ago, if she's sitting in a room with 4 other women, it's happened to 3 of them. It's a way of life. You have to, and I tell my granddaughter, and I taught my daughter, you got to always be in your stance. You always have to be ready. I carry a lipstick. When I pull the lipstick up, it's a jackknife. It looks like a regular lipstick. You always have to be ready some kind of way, because they're going to try, because they sit up there, a lot of guys, they think with the wrong head. Like they can't control themselves, and then some other ones, they know that you're the one that might not put up with anything, because I've seen that also, where the girls are kind of wild, and then when it comes to me, and I say, who do you think you're talking to? Would you talk to your mother that way? Would you talk to your daughter that way? And like I say, I'm really, really sorry that they realize that they can't talk to me that way or treat me that way. I run into those guys also. But watch your daughters, especially at the age of 14. My granddaughter just turned 13. I told her, keep an eye. Keep a sharp eye when they're 14, because that's when a lot of weird things could start happening. But that's all that I have to say. But this was, I'll tell you, your shows are something else, Honcho.
I agree. I got a question for you, Miss Grace, because you
Sure.
mentioned something about, you said, when you were well, back in the day, not actually before you were talking about your mom. I think she was the oldest of the 18. You said.
Yes.
Okay, so she had to help him take care. I mentioned something earlier. I don't know if you heard it, but it was on a radio station where the young man called in, and he has an opportunity to go to college, but his mom said that he's selfish if he goes off to college and leaves her to take care of all those kids. What do you think about a situation like that?
I think it's wrong of her, especially this day and age. When it happened to my mother, it was a long time ago. The other thing is it a cultural thing? Because don't forget, when these people come from other countries, even doctors from India, they make their money, and what they do, they send it back home. It's a way of life. It's a cultural thing for some people. A lot of them send their money back home. Their children are supposed to help them, and they think it's selfish. So I don't know. I don't have enough information on that situation right there. Is she an American? Is she just being selfish?
Yeah, it's a black American, so it's a black mom, black son. I think he got accepted to college, and so he wants to go off to college. I'm sure to have a better life. And she says that he's being selfish by leaving her to raise his siblings.
How many kids?
I'm not sure the number of siblings.
And since that's already out there, then maybe people ought to, if that was my neighbor or something, let him go to college, and perhaps we can take turns and we can babysit the kids. Or this day I would take the kids to the park. Or I would do something with the kids. If people know this, that's all that you have to do if it's a decent family. You don't want to go any wild families or anything like that. But I would offer just to take the kid. I was the mother. I'd rather my son and his football players, be here at the house. I'd rather my daughter and her friends to be over here in the house because I'm nosy so I can hear what's going on. And they know, that I have good hearing. I went for that free Walmart gift card last year. They sent it in the mail. Once you reach 60-something years old, they give you a $20 gift card. And I know, my kids know, I can be upstairs and they can be downstairs. And I hear them talk. I'm like, what you say? And they know. And the lady doctor was shocked. I have high decibels. I can hear really, 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 really well. So don't try to, and I can't whisper either. But I hear really, really well. So I'd rather my kids be right here because I'm nosy. Yeah, I'm listening to everything. Yeah, and I'm checking everything, and I don't care. You know what I mean? If it's my house and I'm paying the bills and things like that, yes, I'm going to sneak into that room and I'm going to start looking around. Yeah. And I told my daughter, sneak and look around with you. Ask your daughter some things, but look at some things. The other thing was I was a random checker. For homework. I was too busy working and going to school. There was no way I'm going to check the homework all the time because then the kid does the homework all the time only because they know you're going to check. And so that's really not teaching them to be self-disciplined. So I'm a random checker, so you don't know when I'm coming. And if you know that garbage goes out on Tuesdays with my sons, if you know that garbage goes out on Tuesdays, they did it automatically. I never had to say, don't forget it's Tuesday, get that garbage, because if I have to, which I never had to do that, it's going to be, all hell's going to break loose. Because I have ransacked rooms like my mother did. If the room isn't the way we want it and you didn't do what you're supposed to do, my mother pulled drawers out, she flipped mattresses over, she cleared everything with one arm, swoop, and she now put it back together again. That's what my mother did, and we learned. So every Saturday, we had to do a thorough cleaning. We had to take the Venetian blinds like a couple of times a year from the windows. Remember they had the big ones, the metal ones? Yeah. And put them in the tub with bleach, and if it cut us like a paper cut and bleach went into our cut, we learned the next time to be more careful. So for a lot of years, my kids, every Saturday, we had to get up. It was thorough cleaning. My daughter went to dancing school, tap, baton, gymnastics, cheerleading. She took French classes. My son was into sports, and they took martial arts and things. I would have to leave, go drop them off, come back. We do some more housework. And then after a while, I said, you know what? I can't be cleaning every single Saturday. I've been doing this like almost all my life, so that means I don't get to enjoy a Saturday. So I said, okay, so when I get out of work on Friday, I'll start cleaning on Friday so that I get to enjoy a Saturday, because Saturday was just for cleaning because that's the way we were brought up. So I had to break that tradition because we never got to enjoy a Saturday fully. You understand? But that's about it. But this was fun, and I love Rashida and them. And these pistachios, and I don't know how to work this pistachio thing.
It's a lot of random, like whenever you see somebody put like exclamation point, the pimp or the steal or whatever, it's just it's like you're wagering pistachios, and so I guess it's a status symbol to have the most pistachios, and so I guess that's the kind of thing. So if you do the challenge, like you're fighting over pistachios, whoever wins, I think, gets the other person's 100 pistachios. The raffle, you gambling for pistachios. So like really, like to participate, all you have to do is put like exclamation point and whatever word. I'll try to put a list of commands in there.
I'm gonna have to learn to do it because I look at my pistachios. They're just looking there. They're just chilling like a villain. My pistachios are just there. I don't know what to do. But I'm going to get off this phone now. I must have called. I'm saying, and Miss Bell, I want the same telephone line that Miss Bell has. She must have a special line. She doesn't get in just once. She's the first one, plus she can get in again. I'm like, how the hell she do that?
Well, she mastered the Roman technique. Roman used to be the one that used to always be the first and get multiple calls in, but Roman, he ain't been as active lately, so I think Miss Bell has learned the technique. He must have passed on the ways of, passed on his methods.
Well, I'm going to have to learn. But let me get off this telephone so I can do some things around here. 3 more days of work and I'm done.
Congratulations. Hopefully it goes by quickly and without any issues.
That's right. Well, you take care.
All right, Ms. Grace. Thank you for
Bye-bye.
calling, Ms. Grace. Thank you. Man, look, we got to go back to the old ways. Now we're gonna make that the last call today. Look, we extended the den a little bit. It's supposed to be 2 hours. We've done some extra shit. I got to get prepped, and then I got some sauce at 7. We'll be back in the den at 10 tonight. So what I'll do is I'll start giving a little bit of a heads up. So like I said, we're gonna start having some theme days, but the themes will mainly be for the nighttime dens. So I think the nighttime dens tend to get a little bit more love. That's not what I want. So like I say, today is Men's Monday. And so what we will be talking about tonight is, men's rights in their children's lives, and what goes on with that. So we've briefly had some kind of conversations around it, but not really focused on that. So that's going to be part of the conversation. So, the men's rights when it comes to children, what say so they do and don't have, and, what should be changed, and what should men be doing who are in their children's lives. So that'll be kind of the premise of the topic tonight. Yes, it'll be Women's Wednesday. It'll be Twitter Shit Tuesday, or Titty Tuesday. I like titties. Everybody likes titties. Simp Saturday starring Kenneth. I have Kenneth on as a guest for Simp Saturdays. But no, I got to come up with something proper for Thursday. And Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Because, like I said, we haven't really done confessions. We end up more so on Friday nights and Sunday instead. So we will talk about it, both of them, their rights and responsibilities. And so we will get into that tonight. So I look forward to seeing y'all this evening. But I got to get out here. I got a couple things I got to take care of. And we'll be at it on time. Are we wagering again? Are we wagering again for the time tonight? Are y'all trying to wager or gamble on Sir Honcho's timeliness again tonight? Who's betting against me and who's betting for me? We'll get some new contenders. We'll give some new folks an opportunity to win. Who's betting against me that I will not be on time this evening for 25,000 pistachios? And who is betting that I will be on time this evening for 25,000 pistachios? We'll play this game tonight. You're betting against? Okay. Vegas over under is 1007. I hate so much. Against, yeah, definitely. So Brandon is taking the. Wow, that's tough. Brandon is taking the against, and Shannon is betting for. All right. So we sell sheep. We sell sheep. So I have within the minute, the stream must be started at 10, in the minute of the 10 o'clock hour. So, are you against this? Cuz be against that arrangement you pull up tonight. Anyway, with that being said, man, I appreciate all of y'all. Let's get this proper stuff going. Run down it real quick, and we will see. We shall see. Face at 10 o'clock. Okay, that'll work. So you better be on time to get the party started like today. Ed Honcho HTX on Instagram and Twitter, man. Follow the proper social medias. Like the video, subscribe, man. If you just watch it, share the video. That's the most important thing you can do. YouTube don't like me because I cuss too much and say crazy shit. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all Denshow Live. Denshow Live at Gmail if you want to send an email. Excuse me, good grief. Monday through Friday, weekdays, 1 p.m., 10 every night, 7 days a week. Den Show Podcast. Make sure you join us on Saturdays to catch the live audio podcast. Go there and sign up so you don't miss it. Den Show Shop. Cop some of the Den Show merch. Shirts, mugs, all that good stuff. 833-284-3336. You can text, call, send screenshots. We got some news, links, whatever it may be, to interesting stories to the Den line. Streamlabs.com/The Den Show. If you want to make a one-time donation, shout out to Miss Grace, Dan, Diana, excuse me, Betty Spaghetti, Goya, Stina Starry-Eyed James, and Donald Trump. I appreciate y'all for having faith in the long-term success of this community. And if you want to be one of those who also have faith in the long-term success of this community, consider joining the Patreon supporters. And like I said, I gotta drop some things for y'all because I've definitely been neglected. Because I'm just, we'll get into it. Like I said, I just gotta drop the content. And we'll figure it out. You know, hey, we'll get it all together. But with that being said, I'll catch y'all tonight at 10. If you're fucking with H-Town Sports, I'll see you in the sauce at 7. And I'm trying to reduce y'all. Be cool like y'all be cool. I'm gone. Female pitch, that is hilarious. Now you trying to flip the script, Sweetberry. Now you ain't got no dog in the fight. You gotta wait till next time. Right now, it's 3-3-5, and who bet against me? Shannon bet for me. So those are the contenders for this evening. But with that being said, I'm out. Y'all be cool. Guard your pistachios. Guard your nuts before Sweetberry touch all up on your nuts and take them. I'm gone.